mom and dad. Your mom and dad. Your mom and dad. Your mom and dad.
Well, hello everyone. Welcome back.
Hello.
It's
your mom and dad. Studio on. Wait, you know what I like about that is that we just kind of created that little moment of like we say it together, and now it's a thing.
It works out beautifully, and it does actually with this music in the background, with the intro music. It does make me feel very hyped up, like I do have a live studio audience. And you know what? The studio audience is our dog Ashley's with us in the studio today, and Lee, of course.
Hi, Lee's
Hi,
here.
Lee,
Ashley's
producer
here.
Lee. I have to start this episode off by thanking
Oh my gosh.
everyone who
The
tuned
reception has
in.
been amazing.
Are you joking? Like I mean, you saw me when we released last week. Yeah. I was so nervous the day before. I was pacing in circles wildly. I was so nervous because I wanted to make sure that this podcast that the people love it. And like, you know, it's just we love the listeners, so I wanted the audience to love it.
It meant a lot.
It seriously meant everything. I know I was saying that on Instagram and everything, but it means everything.
We were nervous. I mean, we like Jess talks about pacing. We were definitely pacing.
Both of us in our small living room, we were literally just doing laps and circles around each other. Pure nerves.
Well, yeah, and the pacing thing is interesting because me and Jess both pace.
Yeah, we can't.
Lee, do you pace?
Yeah, I paced.
Are you a pacer?
And I was also nervous too. I was like, oh my God, I messed something up and all the comments are going to be like, oh, the video's out of sync or something like that.
Yeah, there's a big like portion of the episode not there. Yeah, those are like the, you know, you wake up and like I still have dreams every once in a while of like, I'm late to class. You know what I mean?
Oh, yes.
Or like my famous one is I am in my dream and it's the final.
And you don't graduate.
No. Okay, there's a bit of that. There's a bit of that. But I'm at my final and I'm in class and I realize I never went to one of my classes. I forgot I signed up for.
Yes.
No. And it ruined my whole
That's exactly what I'm talking about. The graduation thing. Is that, do you have that dream too?
Yeah, recently too. Yeah,
really?
Just like, I'm like, wait a minute.
Stress, baby.
I wonder if that's like, because I know there's the tooth falling out stress dream, like they crumble in your mouth or fall out.
Yeah.
But I wonder if that is a common stress dream that you have. It's your last day and then you realized all of a sudden, I'm like, oh my God, I never went to that math class once all year.
That's the worst fear.
That's
the worst
horrible.
fear. Just to literally wake up one day and be like, everything's great in my final. I studied super hard. And then be like, oh my God, I never went to English 107. I signed up for that class. I never dropped out of that class.
Even at the end of the day, I'm like, going back to some classes sounds pretty nice.
You know what? I still don't want to go back to school. People talk about this all the time. Like, oh, you know, you go to school when you don't want to, you're like 18, 20, whatever, and you're in school, you hate it. And then once you're in your 30s or something, you're like, I can't wait. I'd love to just go back. No, zero desire. I never need to go back to a class ever again.
Going back to a college class does sound kind of nice. There was nothing better than waking up, having your little coffee, putting your backpack on, and going and sitting in the front row.
You nerd. Dude, she's so unreal, dude. There's no question Jess was the teacher's pet in every class.
I loved sitting up front always. I wasn't a big question asker, but I was just like, I want this person to know who has dedicated their life to this, that I respect them and I am here and we are having a moment together. And oof, that my people pleasing would go off on that one.
I have the answer, and if I don't, I will find out because I love to learn, and I'm not. It's not ego for me. It's just about learning from your wisdom. Thank you. You're the person that at the end of the class goes, "Thank you," and everyone's like, "What?"
But
what?
Of course,
thank you.
But of course, they worked hard. You deserve your thanks.
Would you ever cash it in? Would you ever do like a? I didn't get around to that quiz, but you know me, or did you just always perform perfectly?
I didn't always perform perfectly. I will say the one time that I did use it was when, I did communications in school. And so we had to have at least a semester, I believe, of speech and debate team. And I really didn't want to do the actual, like the tournaments and going and speaking in front of everyone and doing specifically the debates. Those made me really nervous. So the professor who was in charge of the speech and debate team, who was like the main coach, was one of my professors in numerous classes. So I went in and I was like, listen, here's the deal. I know I got to do this, but like, you know, this isn't my forte, but you know, I work hard in other ways. And he ended up letting me, he would go and judge. He ended up letting me become a judge.
So you skipped the whole doing it. And
so I never, ever did the speech or debate, like actually myself, maybe like once or twice practice round at my school. But when we would go compete, I would literally be the judge and everybody else who'd be judges would be other professors. And so I would be judging my peers and I'd go in and I'd always wear a big old pair of glasses. So I'd look super professional. I'd bring a briefcase.
Well, guys, I have something to tell you as well. If, you know, not only is she beautiful, not only is she creative, not only is she an absolute teacher's pet, Jess won for one of the years she was in college, Communications Student of the Year. Or was it something else?
It was.
Something like that.
It was.
Sorry. It was something of the year, which is like, dude, that is crazy.
But you know what? My college was so small, honestly.
It doesn't matter.
It was like one of like a handful of people. That's actually one of the few days, Mom, if you're watching the confrontation, never showed up to my award. That one hurt.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's, wow. I'm going to talk to your mom about it. I'm going to see her this weekend, so I'm going to talk to her.
This is going to be a therapy moment.
Yeah, that's bad. Student of the year. Definitely. My teachers were like, he's in this class? Is he here? I don't even think he is. Oh, he was here. Okay, got it. Eked by, you know?
Okay, I have a question. It's very important of like, first of all, what we're going to call the listeners. Second, I have a confession. I'm going to get into it.
Okay.
But before we dive in, we do need to take a quick pause for a sponsor break. So it's only episode 2, but I'm already loving doing this podcast. What I am not loving doing in my life is going to the post office. So I don't. And I don't have to with stamps.com. You just print your own postage right from your home or office within minutes of signing up, and you never have to stress about finding the fastest and cheapest shipping solutions. Stamps.com does it for you automatically.
Ooh, also, if you need a package pickup, you can easily schedule it through your stamps.com dashboard. And if you sell products online, stamps.com seamlessly connects with every major marketplace and shopping cart. We've been using and loving stamps.com for years.
Yes, so many years.
Yeah, I mean, for more than 20 years, stamps.com has been indispensable for over 1 million businesses. Get access to USPS and UPS services you need to run your business right from your computer anytime, day or night. No lines, no traffic, and no waiting.
And by the way, speaking of USPS and UPS, Stamps.com has amazing partnerships with them for unbeatable rates up to 86% off. So start the new year by saving serious money on mailing and shipping. Get started with Stamps.com today. Sign up with promo code CHATTY for a special offer that includes a 4-week trial plus free postage and a free digital scale. No long-term commitments or contracts. Just go to Stamps.com and click the microphone at the top of the page and enter code CHATTY. Okay, so so number one.
Yeah.
Number one, I would like to ask you all who are listening, what would you like to be called as our listeners? Because I was seeing numerous people say a few ideas: siblings, the kids. You know, I was saying family. So I don't know. We need to do some sort of poll or something to find out what we're all.
What about kiddos?
Kiddos?
Like, hey, kiddos. You know what I mean?
Kiddos? Yeah. Is that disrespectful?
Yeah, but that's kind of the thing. Parents kind of always are, you know, looking at their kids and be like, kiddo.
Especially,
you know?
like 70s parents.
That,
too,
oh, yeah.
Hey,
70s parents.
kiddo.
Yeah, come here, kiddo. Here's $5.
Is there any like thing that someone would like refer to you as that would bug you? Like, does it bother you when someone is like, hey boss, what's up?
Ooh, yeah, like when someone gives you a boss or a, oh, no, okay. Boss doesn't really bother me. Here's the one that bothers me. Big guy. Just because, you know what it is? It's almost just like, it's like, it almost reeks of, you think you're a big guy, but you're not. By saying that. Like you're a big, strong, tough guy.
Okay.
So by me calling you big guy, it makes me bigger than you.
Right.
Like you're almost
I
like
understand
it's
that.
almost like calling a little kid big guy. You know, it's like if you're little and you go big guy, that's cute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like an adult to an adult and they hit you with a big guy.
Yeah, it's kind of just like it's the flex, the puff of the chest.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
I love when I am like, let's just say going through a Starbucks drive-through and who's ever working the window, if she calls me like sweetheart,
Yeah.
if my heart explodes. Like I know sometimes that bugs people, but like if it's like if a woman refers to me and is like, hey honey, hey sweetheart, my heart explodes. Now I've been getting a lot of ma'am lately, and it is starting.
That's
to,
a transition.
Yeah.
That's a transition. That's like you're no longer in the sweetheart club, you're in the ma'am club, which means you're one of like the person talking to you is like, we're in this together. Or hey, you know, do you want me to help you with that, ma'am?
I've just been getting hit with the ma'am, and you know what? I'm celebrating aging, but the ma'am one hurts a little bit because it just feels so.
Yeah, no. I remember,
ma'am, it just it's not for me.
I remember being a kid and every once in a while, like calling one of my friends' moms, ma'am, and they'd be like, no, you just call me Kelly or whatever. You know what I mean? It was like, don't make me feel old or whatever.
I would happily take madame if they want to make it
I like
formal.
that.
Madame.
yeah.
I'm like, sure, but ma'am, I just, oof.
I love to be called sexy. I prefer that. It's just like a preference I have. It's not
It's not
something
violating at all.
No. I just like to be told, you know what I mean? That's just my preference.
Yeah, sure. Understood.
Yeah.
Understood. Yeah. Well, you all let us know if you want us to call you sexy. If you want us to call you kiddos, kids, siblings, family. You know, yeah, we'll put up a poll or something because I would love to know. I want to know what you all want, you know?
Wow, that's very respectful.
But of course.
Okay.
But of course.
But of course.
But of course. All right. So I was inspired. Yeah. I was inspired in the last episode by your confession to the audience about you peeing the bed.
Yeah.
I do have to say I saw a lot of comments of people really was resonating. You know, they were sharing their stories, which was so beautiful.
Yeah, it's a community now.
It is a community.
For sure.
And I did read a story from someone, and I apologize, I don't have it pulled up, but someone sent me a story where they have a partner, and their partner and this person were not together, and they peed the same night.
Whoa,
not together.
love.
That's true love. That's true
That's
love.
a real connection.
I'm sorry.
When you unintentionally urinate on each other, I mean, that is the universe screaming.
No. This is even wilder. They weren't together, and they peed the same night.
Oh, this is not in the same bed.
No, their bodies were like yearning for one another.
Oh,
Isn't that incredible?
Urinating for each other.
I was like, wow. That is true love. Sorry, fuck all the reality TV romance with the roses and the proposals.
Forget about gestures of love and kindness. How about you just pee in the same bed?
No.
I'm sorry, pee in separate beds at the same time. And that's true.
And know that is a deep, deep connection.
Wow.
But I was
incredible.
It was incredible, but I was inspired by it. And so I was like, before we dive into the rest of this episode where we have a very special guest, and then of course we'll have our call home segment with some voicemails. I'm like, I need to have a confession moment. I need to have an honesty hour moment.
Appreciate you meeting my vulnerability. That means a lot.
Yeah, you're welcome. Okay. This one's a big ego hit for me. I don't know what it is, but it's a big ego hit for me. So here's the truth of the matter. I have never been a very neat person, but I've gotten better with age in general, right? So especially since Ember was born, of course, trying to keep up the house clean with a little one is harder, but I like to keep we have our living room somewhat clean, the kitchen somewhat clean, our bedroom somewhat clean, hers. But I took my unclean ways, and my vice became a separate small room we have in our home. So we have a bedroom that it's not quite big enough to be like a full bedroom.
Yeah.
So what I started to use it as was I used to do wardrobe styling, right? So I have all these clothes from back in the day that I've kept and all of that and different shoes and all this.
Well, can I pause you for a sec? Okay, so just so you guys have a background of how this started, what happened was our house is like very 50s, you know, so it's just like there's no like walk-in closets.
There's no storage.
There's no, like, modern houses have a lot more like storage and rooms.
Yeah,
that
there's
do
no
these things.
storage.
We have zero storage. We literally have a closet that's like 2 feet deep, and it's just like a side of a wall. Yeah, we were sharing that, and it was just not working. We were living on clothes. So I go, you know what? Here, Ember, is in her room, and we have this small little side room. It's like a half room, almost like an office. And I was like, I'm going to convert this into a closet for her. So I brought in the rolling wax, cleaned everything out, kind of organized it all. So that was kind of the original plan. Continue.
Well, this closet has become where I immediately stuff anything instead of cleaning it. So when I tell you, it is like it's like a cartoon where I can barely close the door. Lee, it's a mountain. When I try to go,
you guys, that's not a joke, by the way.
It's not a joke. It's not a joke. It's literally like you're barely closing. It's starting to spill out. If I open the door, I'm having to like mountain climb over everything that I have stuffed in. So in those moments, in those rush moments when all of a sudden someone's coming over and I'm like, oh shit, you know, because we don't have a lot of storage. I'm like, oh shit, where am I supposed to put this? This is now full. I just keep putting it in the closet. And at first it started off as like, you know, a little pile in the corner. And I remember
seeing the signs.
Yeah.
Because it was like, it was clean for, you know, like a week or something. And then all of a sudden I like,
there's a little pile.
At one point in time, the door was open and I was like, oh, let me just go close it for her. And then I saw like a little something. I was like, oh, let's keep an eye on that. Well, let's keep an eye on that. And then.
Well, the pile became a pile, became another pile, became another pile. It is severely out of control.
Yes.
And now it's so bad that I can't even begin. Because looking at it, like the amount...
It's a mountain range, I would say.
It is.
Like less of a mountain and more of a range. Because you see, it's like hilltops.
Yeah, you got peaks and valleys.
There's peaks and valleys, there's a whole thing. So there's no ground left, but there is like a mound there and a mound there and a mound there. And you kind of have to, you know, traverse the range if there was something you needed in there.
But because for so long I was able to close the door, I could ignore what was happening.
Yeah.
But now it's just so out of hand that I can barely close the door. But it's
spilling too. It's spilling out. There are some things in the hall now. Okay. Pretty soon we'll suffocate.
So,
and by the way, too, go ahead, continue.
So my biggest issue is now, though, the amount of work that it's going to take to clean this. It's just so overwhelming now that I'm like, I'm going to have to spend a literal week. And I was thinking about doing it over the holidays, but I'm like, then I got sick, you know, it's excuse after excuse. Yeah. And now I'm just like, I'm gonna have to literally like take a week off of life to dedicate to cleaning this. And it is, I feel so much shame. And I just felt, you know what, I just want to take this moment to confess this to whatever individual is listening who maybe had some sort of idea in your head of like me having some clean house. It's like, if you pop into the house, it might look clean, but you look behind a closet door and it is a nightmare.
But it does look clean though.
Does it?
It looks clean,
okay, so
right?
The house looks pretty
the
clean?
The house is clean, but you just leave. If you went down the hall and you opened the door, you'd be so freaked out.
I think that's what I've been hearing at night, you know, when it comes to the spirit.
Okay.
Like, clean.
The spirit is like encouraging me,
I can't breathe.
For the love of God.
You know, there's not a lot in our marriage we can't talk about. I feel like we're very open.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we talk about everything.
We do.
Stuff that's embarrassing, that is uncomfortable. Like our communication lines over the years, it's been a long time working, but we got there.
I think it's added to the health of our relationship.
What has?
Being super communicative, not the closet.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say let's not go that far. You were gonna say something there.
No, the communication, because we talk through everything.
So that is, everything's totally open. The one thing we can't really talk about is the room. And by the way, it's called The Room. So it's like, it's in the family, it's just The Room. And it's one of those things where I think I have to take Jess, I don't know, some sort of a beautiful vacation for 2 weeks. And then like week 12, or sorry, day 12, I can start breaching the conversation about taking that room down. And I'm not even saying she should do it. I'm like enlisting help. I called her sister and I said, we got the room. You know, we got to do something about this. And she said, I'm on it. Like anytime you want me to come, I'll spend 2 days working on it. So this is kind of basically what we're doing here is, and I appreciate your honesty and your vulnerability.
Thank you.
What I want this to be is the beginning of the story of the room.
Okay.
You know
so
what
people
I mean?
can hold me accountable. Because I even have a hard time the idea of my sister coming over because I feel so much shame of someone seeing the room. I can't even look at it. You know what I mean? That's what it's come to now. So
you know, we have put it out there, and I think that's the key.
I think so.
You know, just as I peed the bed and I spoke about it, you spoke about this, you know what I mean? And this can be, we're bringing the family in on some of our journeys here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Another thing that you do that is so bizarre. And this is like, I have no opinion about this. This is just the most bizarre thing in the entire world. Because we all have our isms, right? Like you live with someone forever. Like I have my isms. She has her isms. And
yeah. You don't have a lot. I have a lot of isms.
You have a couple, but none of them bother me. And this one doesn't bother me at all. It just is the most bizarre thing ever. And her mom does it too.
Oh.
And it's like genetic. I mean, I don't understand. It's hereditary. And I remember seeing it at first.
Because my mom is wildly
So her
neat.
mom is like Architectural Digest clean.
Yeah.
Like you could lick behind her couch at any point and it's cleaner than your plates. Okay. So she is immaculate. But she does this bizarre thing, which is if there's a pile of a small pile, let's say like a pile of letters and some random crap on a side table. If it's kind of, she hasn't gone through it yet, instead of putting it in a drawer or going through it, or just what I would do would leave it there until I go through it. She takes a small towel and just covers it. So I'll go to her mom's house. Her mom's house is immaculate. And then there'll be a small hand towel covering like letters.
Huh.
Because they don't want to see it. And Jess does the exact same thing. I'll walk by, house is immaculate, she's cleaned it, everything's great. And all of a sudden I'll just see like a towel. And I just know that there is just miscellaneous stuff underneath there. Like
I would like
Ember's necklace, Ember's drawing, 2 letters, like just random stuff like that you don't know what to do with, just a towel.
I would like to have a therapist come on and explain to me because clearly this is like, I'll keep the house clean, but I got to shove everything else into the room.
Yes.
If there's anything out, I need it to be covered. Like I need to like not see it myself. I guess I need to live in complete denial.
If you can't see it, it's not there.
Yeah, 1000%. Even though it doesn't work for me, I still am thinking about it.
Well, it's interesting too, because you're so detail oriented in every part of your life.
I've always been messy though. So
it
takes everything.
She's like, when it comes to work, everything's on time, dialed, details, you know, super on it for every little thing. And then it's just like these weird, like there's the room and then there's the towel over the mess.
Yeah.
It's the strangest thing.
I mean, the towel is like a mini The Room. You know, you can put it in your pocket and, you know, but it's a small towel. I don't think it's that big of a deal.
It's
but
a small room.
Mini room.
So what you're telling me is I need to remove the doors from the inside of our house. So that everything has to be seen and then you have to deal with it.
I think we have to have an open floor plan concept so that I just can't,
we need to move to a lounge.
Just add more anxiety to my already anxiety-riddled state.
Really funny.
Oh, well, I needed to admit that. Thank you, everyone,
that.
for being here for me as I put that out there. And maybe it'll help me clean the room.
Stay tuned for the, what would you say is like the journey of the room? The movie,
cleaning,
whatever. Stay tuned for just what happens
the
to
harvesting.
the room. The harvesting, the cleansing, the, you know, snow plowing we need to bring in, whatever. It's going to be exciting.
It's going to be great. Okay, one more thing. I wanted to say this before we dive into our guest, who is a Bachelor alum.
Ooh.
I'm so excited.
In studio.
I needed to throw this out there because Evan and I have been, in preparation for, again, Zach's season is starting in 2 weeks. 2 weeks, yes. And we have some cast bios coming up next
awesome.
week. So we're diving
excited.
into some reality TV world here. So we have been watching reality TV shows together in preparation. Obviously a lot of Love Island. But one of the things that I like to do, and I think everyone just does it by nature, a lot of times when you're watching reality TV, I always imagine, what am I going to be like if I was in one of these people's situation? Like, what would the producer kind of encourage me in, or how would I be edited, and would I try to play up a character, or what would it be like for me? I just need everyone to know that this is a fact about Evan. I know it in my deepest core
coming now.
that if Evan ever went on a reality TV show, let's just say Evan goes on The Bachelorette, I believe wholeheartedly he is falling so deeply in love in 2 weeks. I know it. Like when he's like, when you see people sometimes on these shows and you're like, how do they fall in love that fast? Like, is this for the camera? Is this for real?
I've said that many times.
Yes. Oh no. Evan gets so caught up and swept up. If it's like a person that he's vibing with, like, you fall so hard in love, which is one of the most beautiful things about you. But I'm just picturing you being on a reality TV show. Like when we were watching Rachel and Gabby's season, when I would watch Gabby, I was like, if you were on Gabby's season, he would be so in love with her. Like, it would be week 2, he's proposing. Like, you're there. Like, you would
Let's get out of here, baby. Screw this show.
No, you would. I mean, this is true,
no,
right?
You're not wrong. And it's funny. I've always been that way a little bit. Like, I've always been someone who, like, I love love.
You love love.
I love that, like, feeling, that electricity, the nervousness of feeling like something's happening. I like to consider I'd like to think that I'd be like this. Let's say, I was single, now that I'd be like this just mysterious bachelor cruising around, can't get him down. He's just the man, It's like, no, I think I'd fall in love pretty quick.
No, when we're watching Love Island, Evan gets teary frequently, and Evan does not cry, but we'll be watching any sort of romantic reality show, and Evan is like, the emotions are here.
Like, we watched The Holiday the other day.
Oh yeah, well,
and that movie was incredible.
You
fell asleep, and I'm just like,
the romance.
This is what life is about.
The romance gets you big time. So if you were ever on The Bachelorette, you would not be. People could watch it and be like, "Oh, this is not for the camera. You are caught."
I'd get dumped and just be like, "I thought we had something." Like, I'd be that guy. You know what I mean? The guy that's like, some people are like, I'd understand. It's like, I'd be the guy that like, wait, I thought what me and you had was completely different than every other 40 people on this show.
So you would genuinely believe that?
I honestly
like, you'd be in shock.
I would be in shock. I honestly, as much as I don't want to admit it, like, I could totally see myself like just like absolutely thinking we're much farther along than we are.
Like, for myself, who's to say, because I can't speak into this because I've never been on the show before, but I don't think I could. You know me, I'm very guarded when it comes to romance. Like, I'll flirt and do whatever, but for me to fall in love, like, it's a big thing. Once you're
extremely loving and romantic.
I'm very locked.
But like you said,
but to get there, I'm really guarded. So I don't think it could happen. But watching you and I on a reality TV dating show would be, I think, quite an opposite experience.
I think so as well. You'd be like, You'd like know what to do, and I would just be like, what's happening to us? You
would be a horrible bachelor because you would the first
I'd be
night.
Like, well, I'm in love with everyone.
Everybody. No, the first night you'd know exactly who you felt connected to, and it would be done. You'd be like,
that's true.
You could not put on any sort of.
You'd be an incredible bachelorette. You would be amazing. You'd break hearts like mine. I would think that we had something and we didn't. I mean, like, okay, great.
I would never leave you, baby. I'd run away with you.
I'd never leave you on The Bachelorette.
Well, speaking of Bachelorette, should we bring in our guest?
I think we should. I think it's time. Perfect transition, by the way.
Oh, Thank you so much.
She's
you know,
a pro.
I did win a communications award.
That's true. I mean, we're seeing it. You guys, this is not a mistake.
I might have the room, but I did win a communications award.
Okay, let's forget the room. It's all good. Forgiven.
Okay, before we dive into our guest, we need to take a quick pause to chat because listen, we all learned a lot in 2022. I learned a lot about myself. I learned about boundaries, the importance of sleep, and I learned that not all probiotics are created equal, okay? Turns out everything you think you know about probiotics may be wrong. I knew probiotic tortilla chips just sounded way too good to be true. But good news, Seed's DS-01 Daily Symbiotic is the real deal, and that is something I learned to know deep in my heart, okay? I've been using Seed daily for the last few years, and it is a must for me.
So what is the Daily Symbiotic? It's a broad spectrum 2-in-1 probiotic and prebiotic, and the way it's designed, capsule in capsule protects against stomach acid, digestion enzymes, and bile salts for viability through digestion. So the live probiotics will actually make it to the end of the small intestine for delivery into the colon. If you've taken a probiotic before and never felt a difference, it's likely because the good bacteria wasn't surviving your GI tract. Seed is designed differently, and that's why it works.
And it works. Okay, for myself, I saw, honestly, almost immediate benefits supporting my gut, like ease in bloating, healthy regularity. You understand what I mean? But Seed will also support your gut barrier, skin health, heart health, and micronutrient synthesis. And like I said, I felt the results almost immediately. Many see improvements in digestion within 24 to 48 hours. It's truly wonderful. It's my daily go-to always.
Start a new healthy habit today. Visit seed.com/momdad and use code MOMDAD to redeem 20% off your first month of Seed's DS-01 Daily Symbiotic. That's seed.com/momdad and use code MOMDAD.
So 2023, the year for sexy, okay? But for real, finish the sentence in your mind. I deserve a sex life this year that is what? What comes to mind? Don't be afraid to say it because whatever it is exactly what you want. You deserve it, and Dipsea can help you get there in new and sexy ways. Oh, I love Dipsea. I mean, we love Dipsea, to be honest. Dipsea is an app full of hundreds of short, sexy audio stories. And let me tell you, these stories are good, like hot, okay? There is nothing cheesy about Dipsea stories at all. They bring scenarios to life with immersive soundscapes, realistic characters, and Dipsea and their stories are also extremely inclusive.
Discover stories about second chance romances, adventurous vacation flings, and hot and heavy hookups.
Oof.
It really is very, very good. And new content is released every week. So in between listening to your favorite stories again and again, you can always find something new to explore. They also have soothing sleep stories, wellness sessions, and sexy stories you can read. So if you want to switch it up between listening to those sexy stories or reading them, you have that option.
Yes, you do. So many options with Dipsea. So let Dipsea be your go-to place to spice up your me time, explore your fantasies, relax and unwind, or heat things up with a partner. For listeners of the show, Dipsea is offering an extended 30-day free trial when you go to dipseastories.com/chatty. That's 30 days of full access for free when you go to dipseastories.com/chatty. dipseastories.com/chatty. Okay, well, let's bring her in.
Okay.
We're so excited.
Yes.
I really want to dive in with her because, after her time on the show, we've heard about a lot of her time on the show.
Right.
I kind of want to know about what's going on now. I want to get to know her better, what's currently happening. I have quite a few questions specifically getting into because, it's your mom and dad. We're talking relationship, dating, all these things. So I want to know about what is going on in the dating world, maybe some tips, some deal breakers,
that's what we do,
all sorts of things like that. And maybe we should hear about it from a bachelorette herself.
I think there's nothing better than that.
All right, let's get her. Well, we are here with none other than Katie Thurston.
Wow.
Oh my God. Hello. Not only our first guest in person, also, you come in looking, you fit on set right now with this outfit.
I'm all about this aesthetic
Wow.
today.
You're looking just like you're
Sherbert.
absolute Sherbert, absolutely part of the
Sherbert
family
chic.
right now.
Happy to be here.
Oh my
Wow.
goodness, Katie. And you just had your birthday
Holy
a few
shit.
days ago. So we have to pop some champagne
Yes.
and have a little birthday moment.
Here we go.
If this is a family,
Oh, God.
then we have to Evan, be
comes
careful
the
of the
sound.
fork.
Right at your face.
Oh God. Oh.
Here we go.
Oh yes.
Love that.
Pass it around.
Glasses.
Yes, thank you. Thank
How
you.
was your birthday?
Honestly, it was pretty low key.
Yeah.
I mean, when you turn 32, you're just kind of like over it maybe. Plus, it was January 3rd, so like it's such a weird time to celebrate your birthday because everyone just like partied for New Year's.
Yeah.
Kind of tired.
Everyone's a little sleepy.
Yeah. But I did have some people in town, so we went and did like a little arcade action,
fun.
an escape room, dinner. So it was still a good time.
Gosh. Wow.
I always felt when I was a kid, like my birthday is January 21st, and I always felt mad about that because when I was a kid, it's like you want the best birthday is like July because it's like it's the farthest away from Christmas, and then everyone's available and home, and it's sunny out, and you can like go to the beach or the parks or whatever. But in January, it's like I know what you're talking about. There's like this, oh yeah, it's your birthday. Your parents are like, okay, yeah, let's just get them 2 presents for Christmas, and is that good? And you're like, no, I want a separate.
You're
Then
like,
I
thanks.
forget it. You know,
Thanks,
Yeah.
Mom and Dad.
Yeah. And then my sister's, hers is January 20th. So her and I, when we were growing up, got a lot of like joint presents. Like the sharing kind. I'm like,
joint present.
I know.
Watch us. I mean, that's just like some stuff I do for sure. Be like, you guys could share this.
Well,
you know what I mean?
lucky for you, you only have the one.
Okay, well,
so she gets it all.
For now.
For now. We'll see. Okay, here's the thing, Katie. First of all, thank you so much for coming on.
Oh,
We're
without a doubt, I'm so happy to be here.
You know, as
guys.
soon as we started this, I was like, if I can have Katie on the podcast, I will be so happy. And this was before we had hung out a couple times. And you and I, in the past few months, have gone out a few times and had some
memories.
a good romp or two. But before you were coming on, one of the things I was talking with Evan about was that, so we started talking in the DMs, like, and then we casually started going back and forth. And and then when we met in person, I was like, oh, this is so great. But you are one of those people that will post and you will go out and go alone somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
And meet people. Are you meeting people in like DMs and forming friendships and then going out alone? And
yeah, I mean, it's a risk when you put it that way.
She's like, I don't think about it that way. Now I do. Now I'm not going to do it.
With all the safety, the precautions.
Yeah. As early as like last year, I got this random DM from some fans who were like, hey, this emo show is happening tonight. You should come. And I was like, I don't know. And like last minute, I was like, okay, I'll go. So I went to this emo show. I met so many people. I went by myself. I grabbed a beer. Like liquid courage does help. I won't downplay that. Sure. But I met so many people. And there are some people that I met that night who are now girlfriends to this day, who have come and visit many, many times. I will say I had a situationship form from that meetup as well.
Did you really?
Unknowingly. I didn't go there to meet men. Like I was there just like emo and rock on, But yeah.
Wow.
First and last situationship, I will say.
Oh, so we're done with the situationships.
Yeah. And also those are toxic. I didn't know. I thought I could do. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm emotionally unavailable too. But like, let's just bang and have fun. Well, you eventually kind of.
So it started.
Wait, can you guys help me? What's a situationship?
Oh, it's a fancy. It's like
sorry.
a fancy.
You need to get in tune with the youth.
I'm sorry, I don't know what that is. I'm going like, is there something I'm missing here?
My God.
What are you kids up to?
Oh my God. It's like a fancy way of saying fuck buddies.
Oh,
You're
got
both
it.
like, I'm emotionally unavailable. I'm like, me too. But like, let's still hang out.
Right.
I like to call it the subscription without like the payment. Like the premium
whoa.
Spotify with all the perks, but zero commitment.
Right, that's the thing. So it's like it's one
You're
of those
borrowing
things
a
where
login.
if you start off, if it's able to be a situation where it just remains fuck buddies, where two people aren't having romantic inclinations towards each other and they're just having a good time, it's great. But then the situationship is when all of a sudden there starts to be those feelings, and then there's the no commitment. A lot of times. Yeah, feelings I guess could be on both ends or one-sided.
I think is usually how it ends up
Yeah,
hurting
right.
the most.
Sure.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, not the situationships, but
That's exciting though. I mean, like the point is that you went out alone.
Yes.
Met some people. Even the fact that a situationship happened.
Yeah.
Is an exciting thing that happens when you just go out by yourself. That's pretty.
I mean, yeah, I didn't know it was going to be a situation.
Right.
So met guys, met girls, had friends, had relationships, whatever, you know, like just living my life here in San Diego and planting some roots now. And
Yeah.
have you always been like that where you'll just go out alone?
No, but I have no choice now. Like I was born and raised in Washington my whole life, lived there. So I had this comfort and familiarity of like the city and my friends, school and work, all these things. Came here to San Diego, essentially now alone, and was like, all right, well, you got to put yourself out there. Otherwise, you're going to just be very lonely here in San Diego.
So how'd you start doing that? Did you just like, I know that you do have your volleyball.
Yeah, so volleyball is a huge one. Okay. You know, joining like a sports league, that's the best way to meet people, whether it's like volleyball, basketball, whatever. And then, yeah, concerts are a big one because you know you have one thing in common, and it's the music.
That's very true.
And you don't have to talk. You can just like sit there and vibe with them. And like
that's very true.
And that's literally what I did at this emo night. It was just like vibing with this group of girls who I literally now like see and hang out with. And then now I'm into the comedy scene, which has been a new chapter of like meeting more people and people who are like minded. So it's actually
So you're
been
saying
great.
you have a lot of friends.
I meet a lot of people.
Okay, got it.
Let's not use that word
Okay, got it.
loosely. Okay. I'm kind of cutting some people out right now.
Yeah, right. But you sound like a good friend. And the
guess.
fact that this like,
Well,
the fact that you're here is an amazingly friendly thing to do.
move.
But
I had to jump through some hoops to get here.
I know you did, and that's
we're
why it's
here.
that big friend energy.
Yes.
No, but even just the fact that, and I wanted to bring it up because I feel like it's such a skill. I know it's not something that I'm great at, is the idea of, you know, maybe putting myself out, like going to a concert alone or joining like some sort of league and getting to know people. Like I can get kind of in my head. And I remember when you first, because we had chatted in the DMs, but then when you first invited me out for the first time, I was so excited. And so I was so thrilled. And then we had the best time. But I'm like, oh, I have a hard time being the first person to initiate that because, and then when I think about it, I'm like, I mean, what's the worst that could happen?
Yeah.
I guess the person's busy or says no.
Yeah.
Or you meet great new people.
I mean, it's a gamble, you know, one way or the other. And like, for us, it's worked out very well. But yeah, you just like being an adult, making friends is a very new skill. Obviously, like in high school, you have like all those people you grew up with.
Yeah.
And so the best way to do it is really just like put yourself out there and just own it. Like when I go out by myself, I just own it. I go, hey, I'm here by myself. Do you guys mind if I stand with you? You know, just knock it out from the beginning.
I won't even hit up my own friends because I'll be like, maybe it's just not a right time, or you know what I mean? Like I have people that I've known for a decade, and I'll be like, I think I'm gonna hold off on hit them up just because they might not want to hang. We probably shouldn't, you know what I mean? Let alone like people I don't know. Like that's what I want to get to that level. I need to do some therapy to get there, dude.
Yeah,
it's pretty incredible though, because I have to say, when the few times we've been out together, you work a room.
Oh, you think so?
Oh my God. I came home and I right away told Evan, I was like, my gosh, like you're so confident. And like you said, when you like walking directly up and being like, hey, what's going on? And just starting up a conversation, it's like, it's quite impressive. Do you feel like, because you're famous?
Let's not use that word.
I'm going to.
Also,
because you possess fame.
Because you possess fame.
On the D-list level. Like, sure, yeah.
Fame's fame.
Listen, when you're reality TV fans, it is A-list all the way, baby.
I'll own it today.
But do you feel more, like, do you feel like it feels maybe less or more uncomfortable going, like, I'm going to go out to this concert by myself and there's a chance I might be recognized, so then maybe I'll automatically meet people? Or does it make you feel a little more like in your head about it?
I will say people will be surprised to learn I don't get recognized as much as you would think.
Okay.
People think I'm taller in person for some reason. Also, I dress very plain, I think. Like I feel very like plain Jane. And I don't mean that in a way like, please compliment me. I own that. I love that about myself. And it helps me kind of stay under the radar. So I actually prefer it when people either don't know me from the show, don't recognize me, because I can just be totally present. It's when they do recognize me that I'm like, okay, are they recording us right now? Are they eavesdropping? Are they about to ask me like the 10 questions I always get asked about the show? Sure. Which is, I don't mind. Like, I love when people come up and say hi and we take a photo and whatever. But there's just moments where I really just want to be like present in whatever it is I'm doing or whoever I'm with, and just really kind of like move on from that routine that I was so involved with like a year ago.
Right. Have you ever had a situation where someone was recording?
Oh my God. Yes. Yes. Actually, the funny thing. So there was a moment where Blake and I had broken up and John lived in San Diego. Okay. And we were still in the very much friend zone. I was just like so depressed at home and not going out. And just like not eating. And so John's like, we need to get you out. Like, let's get you like croissants and let's go sit by the beach, whatever. So we did. And then a girl recognized us right away. And I was like, oh, that's going to look so bad. Little did I know, like, who knows how soon later we'd be dating.
Right. But you were thinking, you're like, oh, this is going to appear a certain way.
Yeah. So I saw like someone taking photos. I was like, well, screw this girl. I'm going to be ahead of her. So I took a picture of John's dog and tagged it and just like owned the fact that, yep, I'm out with John right now getting some like fresh air, you know, and whatever. So it just kind of sucks that I have to think that way. Even with announcing it when I was with John, it was probably a little more ahead of schedule than I would have liked to announce a relationship. But we had Stefan's big Christmas party last year. And I was like, well, the options are either A, embrace that we are like talking and flirting and trying to explore our relationship, or B, don't touch me, don't dance with me, don't kiss me. And I was like, no, I want to have a good,
you want to enjoy yourself.
I want to have a good time.
Of course.
Again, ahead of the schedule, like, okay, I guess we're just going to announce that we're chatting.
Yeah, I hadn't even thought about the idea of if someone takes a photo or video of you, and it is something like when you were with John, where it was, you know, people hadn't known yet that, you know, you and Blake had ended things, and that there is that then feeling of if someone leaks it before I do, like it takes that power away from me.
That's literally happening right now. Yeah.
Okay.
Really?
New Year's Eve. Everyone wants a New Year's Eve kiss, right? So I had one with this guy. And the photo ended up being discovered because it was posted on the photographer's Instagram that night. So now, like the next day, there's like this ripple effect of like articles coming out of like Katie's new boyfriend. I'm like, since when do I have a boyfriend?
Yeah,
you know,
you're like, am I not allowed to kiss someone?
New Year's kiss.
It's like, how many of us? I didn't do it with someone else, Evan, just FYI. But how many of us on New Year's? It's like you just have a random kiss.
Yeah,
it's just part of the
I
deal.
Kissed 7 people that night.
I was going all over the place.
Imagine if there were like 2 photos the same night, just like really confused.
Oh,
the
right.
people.
No, seriously. Next year, you just like have a round of like 15
Kiss
people
everybody.
and be like, well, you know, the whole bar.
Exactly. Yeah,
that's so interesting. I never thought about that before.
Yeah,
that about having to then have to make the call to put something out there, even if you're not ready, just so that you can have it in your power to a certain extent.
Yeah. But, you know, with this one, I'm just like, you know what? It was New Year's Eve. Like, you guys can speculate all you want, but until I'm ready to like announce something, if there's even something to announce,
right,
I'm going to keep living my life. And that's really where I'm at, is I'm done catering to the you know, public perception and getting ahead of the drama or the rumors or whatever. I'm like, gossip all you want. Like, I'm just gonna live my life the best way that I can, because it's taken me like 2 years truly to get out of like the, I don't want to use the phrase dark space, but it felt like a dark space. The experience is a lot. It changes your whole life. You're not prepared for it. You do a lot of growing. You develop a thick skin, but that takes time. And so now I'm just truly like in such a good space with everything that I've experienced that I'm just done catering to anybody else.
Did you ever have any situation where it was like going around in the media or whatever that you were with someone where it was completely false?
The only thing I can think of, which this one made me so annoyed, is my friend Andrew Rivers. He's a comic, and we went on a date 10 plus years ago via Tinder and whatever. Well, during like my Bachelor era, he was able to come up with a lot of content kind of centered around that and really capitalized on that. And it annoyed me because people considered him an ex-boyfriend. And I was like, I didn't even fuck this man. And now he's like, do not even give them that credit, we went on one date and this man is financially benefiting. There was we're actually really good friends. We actually are doing a show together in Tacoma, Washington coming up.
Oh,
what
sweet.
date?
February 5th.
February 5th.
February 5th.
Okay.
You can go see this man.
You can. You can see this man who I've never fucked.
And you can know that now when you watch him and Katie perform.
Now please do a joke about this live. Yeah.
I did bleed on his face, which at first sounds very concerning.
Wow.
But not the way you think. We made out.
Okay.
I had a bloody nose, but I didn't know until it was like too late. And this was our first date. Like I'm like making out with him and I like wiped my like nose 'cause I thought it was just runny, and then I could like see blood on my finger, and I'm like, oh my God, like how do I?
Oh no.
And I was 21 at the time, so like I'm just new to dating and like insecure. I'm like, do I tell him? Do I just like leave? Do I just never talk to him again? But no, I told him, and somehow we've managed to stay friends this whole time.
Wow.
Through the bloody nose.
Friends
through the
only.
media.
Friends only.
Yeah. And don't you all forget it, okay?
Babe, do you remember when we were making out in a car? And
Yes.
I came up, she came down, we bashed heads, and she got a bloody nose from that.
It was my first bloody nose. My first and only bloody nose, actually.
Yeah, that was
Special.
it was
So
hot.
romantic.
It was hot.
So psycho.
I mean, it sounds intense.
Yeah.
It was intense.
It was,
I want a bloody nose during like passion. Mine was just like medical.
Yeah,
Like I
it
got
was
it
just-
cauterized. It was whatever.
Oh, you got it cauterized.
Yeah.
I think I got to do that.
Do you get a lot of bloody noses?
I all of a sudden, over the last like 2 years,
Do it.
bloody nose.
Do it.
And
I've had it done twice.
Oh my God.
When I was 12 and then as an adult again.
Okay,
well,
cauterized.
and when he has it, I faint when I see blood.
oh,
so
she can't handle blood at
no, zero.
all.
Like finger prick, I see like a tiny bit of blood, I'm
they gotta lay
gonna
her
pass
down.
out.
Oh no.
So when he gets the bloody nose, like I was driving recently and he was in the passenger seat and he got the bloody nose and I looked over and I had to pull the car over because I was like, I'm gonna faint.
Oh yeah.
Sitting.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So he needs to get it cauterized so that I don't.
Yeah, this is
Sounds dangerous. Wow.
But damn, okay. I mean, it's just interesting then having these conversations with you because as much as, know a little bit about the show, a little bit about the reality TV piece, I've never been in a situation where I'm having to think about that.
Oh, it's just
When you're just trying to
wild.
date, which is already so fucking complicated as it is.
Oh, yeah.
Then you're having to add this piece to it.
Oh, dating is like the most weird because you're kind of like in this middle phase of like you use the word fame, right? And so it's like, okay, do I date someone who's like not familiar with what it's like to be in the spotlight, or do you like quote date up in terms of someone who is used to being in the spotlight, right?
Yeah.
And so like I'm on Raya, which is like an interesting experience alone.
Yeah, how has that been?
Which if you don't know what Raya is, it's basically like I don't know, celebrity dating app
it's
kind
like
of
a dating app for people that are doing stuff.
There we
You know what I
go.
mean? Like
In the
musicians
entertainment
and
industry.
entertainment industry.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's a weird thing because I will say I've gone on dates with what I like to call Hollywood men. And my new rule after experiencing that a few different times is if a man is used to hearing yes from multiple women, it's going to be a no from me because the men in Hollywood are kind of trash.
I like you kind of guarded it. You're like sort of, kind of, absolute
I
trash.
was like, what word am I going to use? Let's just cut to it.
Let's just cut to it. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that's probably putting it lightly.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah. Plus, LA is so weird. I'm still just new to California in general.
Yeah.
Anyone from LA, I live in San Diego, which wasn't a terrible drive here. But if you're from LA, they'll be like, it's really too bad you don't live here. Like as if I'm in another freaking state.
Like it's like not even in the country. Like it's so far to most people. They're like, oh, I can't go down there because that's Orange County. Forget it.
Yeah,
And it's
we
like,
drive
it's
down
28
most every
minutes.
weekend and people
Yeah.
are just like, what?
They're like,
And you're
whoa.
like,
So do you stay down there? Do you like rent a house? You know what I mean? They're like, what's it like? You know, just because.
Yeah.
I won't do it. So the men are not.
They'll just be like, oh, it's just really too bad you don't live here. I'm like, why'd you match with me? It says San Diego in my bio.
Like, it's very clear.
and then they'll just be like, next time you're in the area, let me know. And I'm like,
Yeah.
absolutely not.
Right.
No.
Wow.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, if there was any celebrity, if you had your dream celebrity try to match with
What's
you
the
on
DM
Raya,
you get that you're
or
like,
that DM.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. That's so hard. Because here's the thing. I'm not just saying this. I don't have the like fandom view with these like celebrities, like I'll say I'm a fan of something, like Blink-182, for example. Like, I love Blink-182. Like, probably a top 3.
I've worked with them, so let me know which one you like.
Oh, well, see, well, then, that's what ends up happening. I'm like, Tom, I don't know, you know,
Just any of them, hit them all up, and let me know which one gets back.
Travis.
yeah. But like the thing is, I just like I can't grasp onto them and just like whatever.
Forget the fame. Just more, even just for the work, or let's say like it's not a fame thing. It's more just like everything about that person is my type, and the way they work is my type. Like, is there one of those that's kind of the like fandom aside, just straight up?
There's really not. If I had to pick somebody, it would be like I'm pulling from like now like my youth, you know, which was Robert Pattinson.
Oh, okay.
Which, by the way, I'm like 90% sure he lives like 10 minutes from you.
Whoa.
So if you want to go on a walk later.
I'm like, should we scale the city?
Batman, where are you? Batman. New
Let's
Batman.
go walk Ashley.
I will tell you, I did. Remember we saw him at a bar once.
We did?
Yes.
Oh, where was that?
A few years ago,
remember.
we were at a bar. I forget the name of it, but we were there, and all of a sudden I see Robert Pattinson in the corner, and I can't lie. This was like, well, I guess it was a couple years ago. Twilight had been out for a hot minute, but it was like, oh my God, there's Edward.
Right.
And I, of course, was staring because I could not. And he's everything that you would expect him to be in the brooding sense. He was like alone at the bar by himself, brooding with like a whiskey or whatever.
No one comes over to me.
Well, that's the thing.
He was very smoldery, so you know whatever you see on the screen, that's kind of the energy.
I hope no one comes over.
See, that's the thing is I fall in love with like their character. Like you know, it's very much during like the Twilight era and the Harry Potter era, and like I literally wrote a fan letter on like physical
like Tumblr
paper, and mailed it back when that was still a thing. Like I think I was like 18.
Wow.
And my boyfriend at the time was very nervous that like I would run off with like Robert Pattinson.
He's like, he's gonna get the goddamn letter and he's gonna fully.
Yeah. Like,
did you include a photo?
No, but I think I definitely sprayed it with perfume.
Oh my
I love that.
You're living like a 90s dream. That's the most 1995 thing I've ever heard in my life. Wow.
Yeah, and I tried to play like that cool girl, like the I'm not like the others, you know, like, oh, if you ever like lonely, like you should get a dog, you know, like I'm just a fan of your work, like not like
I'm obsessed with
I'm not
it.
weird as I send you this letter in the mail at all. I'm so normal.
Literally, that's what I think about when I now get DMs. I'm like, these people probably think it's a very like normal interaction, but then I get it and I'm like,
You're like, well, back when I used to have a Twitter, that was where I would do it. I would tag and try to get the attention of guys that like celebrity men that I had a crush on. But I would like be like, hey, you know, if you ever want to hang out, blah, blah, blah. And it was just like, yeah, I'm a fan.
Yeah.
I'm shooting my shot over here for the love of God, you know?
I would just be like, you want to know the quickest way to make $1 million?
Pre-DM era. Now everyone's a little more accessible though.
That's the thing. That's what's so interesting about it. Have you gotten any wild DMs?
Like from celebrities or from fans? Because
I'll take both.
I mean, yes. Yes, I have. Yeah, it's so funny though, because here's the thing that I will find that these, especially like men of like status will do. They'll send a DM and I'll see it, but like I won't open it because it goes to like the like requested DMs.
Sure.
And so I see it, but I'm like, I'm just going to go ahead and leave that there. They'll unsend it and then resend it. And I'm like, bro, that's so embarrassing because I already saw this first time you tried.
Yeah.
Especially if they're famous, right? Because they have like, it doesn't go to the top.
Yeah, it can.
Right,
depending on how you organize it.
Yeah, if you're verified, it'll sometimes go to the top.
Yeah.
Shoot.
I mean, I can't lie to you.
R.I.P., dude.
I
Whoever that guy is, R.I.P.
can't lie to you and say that I have not unsent DMs to people before who I'm like, hey, would you be interested in coming on this podcast? You know who I've done it to is Pete Holmes so many times. He's like he's my white whale.
Oh.
And I just would love to have him on the podcast. Yes. And I have sent DMs to him, be like, would you be interested? And then they won't be seen. And so then I'll unsend and then
oh no, he probably
and I'm like, oh,
just double checking for you to see this.
I know. No. And then I'm like, sorry, my guy, if I'm just blowing you up and you're like, this fucking girl just will not leave me alone. I'm like, I promise. I'm just
he thinks like he's like, yo, like you're married, chill.
Yeah,
like,
he's like, oh
whatever.
my God, I'm
not trying to be a home wrecker.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Exactly. Oh, but you know, you got to hit the unsend on sometimes?
I mean, we've all been there. It's okay.
Yeah.
Happens to the best of us.
Okay. This is what I was going to say initially, is that you have the ability. So first of all, it was, for me, I was right away like, oh my God, you're so great at going out and like meeting people like organically and just letting it happen. Then when I saw you in your natural habitat out and about, and I'm like, oh shit, you are, let me not say this lightly. There is a reason that you were the Bachelorette, because you are maybe one of the best flirters I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, thank you.
And this is not, this is not something I would say lightly. I was like, you can teach a master class in flirting.
I do love flirting.
Oh, so it's a thing you like to do. It's not like just like you enjoy the process of it.
I mean, I'm like, how do I want to say this?
No, I'm like, yes, it was so empowering to watch, because I was just watching you work the room and I'm like, damn, like you could teach a masterclass in flirting because of the combination of confidence, the quick comebacks.
Yeah.
It's a volley session.
Yeah, look, it's fun. And I don't know like when it started, but I went to like 5 different elementary schools, and I feel that that really like played into part of like my socialization and having to be like quick to get someone's attention, you know? And so then like as you get older, like attention from like a girlfriend all of a sudden morphs into attention from a boy, you know?
Yeah.
And then
and also your ability to meet new people quickly.
I mean,
just straight up.
Yeah.
Like the fact that you could like, I just went to this concert, didn't know anyone, met people. That's some elementary school 5 times
honestly,
things. Yeah.
truly. Like I had to.
You had to do it.
Growing up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then I'm assuming the show probably helped that to a certain extent. Or were you just like, I was just like that? I was like that before.
The show did not morph me into anything except depressed, let's be honest. But yeah, I mean, it gives you definitely like a different exposure, you know? And then dating all these men like right away, you're like, well, let's turn that on full speed now.
Well, I'm just thinking about the idea of like night one, having to be in a situation where you're trying to enable someone to feel comfortable, like 30 different people.
Oh yeah. I'm such a, like an empath and like a caretaker though, like truly, which I would say I do not recommend going on the show if that's your personality type, because you're like absorbing everybody's emotion. You're trying to make everybody happy. You want to take care of everybody that's on there. And it was just exhausting.
It's too much.
And I was just like so open to all the guys too, which then made it even harder because there was nothing to like dangle in front of me. You can dangle like one person in front of me because I was just like, I care about all of them. I want them to be happy. I want them to feel comfortable. Never would I decline a kiss, even though there were people I didn't want to kiss. I was like, I'm not going to embarrass them. I'm not going to swerve. I'll just make out with them and let it happen. But yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God. That's a lot of energy. That's a lot of energy to absorb.
It was too much. It was too much. I would never do it again.
So now you can just go out and hit up the bar and we can bop around. You can just...
She's such a wing woman for me, let me tell you.
Okay, quick pause from this fantastic interview and conversation with Katie, because I am so happy to talk with you all about Vegamour. I am very passionate about Vegamour because they truly changed my hair's life. Okay, a lot of you know about my hair struggles and journey. And for years, I genuinely tried everything to get my hair to grow and get some strong, healthy hair going. And for me personally, just nothing was working. I tried so much, nothing was working for me. And then I tried Vegamour. And I guess it was about 10 months ago that I started using Vegamour, and boom, completely transformed my hair. I love you, Vegamour.
Their clean and vegan approach to hair health uses smart botanicals that promote visibly thicker, fuller, longer looking hair. All their products are cruelty-free and never contain potentially harmful chemicals like parabens or hormones. Vegamour has something for everyone looking to improve their hair health. The Grow Revitalizing Shampoo and Conditioner Kit works together to create visibly thicker hair and improve hair from the roots.
So you just massage that shampoo into your scalp for 60 seconds and then you follow up with the conditioner on the lengths and the ends. It's as simple as that. I am obsessed with the shampoo and conditioner because it just makes it simple to remember. I'm going to wash and condition my hair anyway. Vegamour makes it So convenient. I also love their dry shampoo. Oh my gosh, it's amazing. And listen, with Vegamore, there's no risk when trying because they have a 90-day money-back guarantee. But with 91% of customers saying they saw visibly thicker hair with Vegamore in just 3 months, you just won't want to run out. I've loved them. I love you, Vegamore. I can't say it enough.
Give your hair exactly what it's been craving with Vegamore. Go to vegamore.com/chatty and use the code chatty to save 20% on your first order. That's vegamore.com/chatty. Code chatty to save 20% at vegamore.com/chatty.
Okay. Back to Katie. My most favorite thing on the planet is being a wing woman. It is my most favorite
Jess
thing.
is
I'm like, I want to just,
amazing at
and
that.
so I'm like, when we were hanging out, I'm like, oh my God, she's just absolutely crushing this room. I'm like, this is my dream. It was so
Wow.
fun. But okay, flirting.
Flirting, yeah.
This was my thought. Number one, I want to talk about flirting styles. Like, what are our flirting styles? And then obviously, the best way to be is just you, and that's how you meet someone. But if anyone feels like they struggle, I would love to get some like tips from you.
Oh, I have things.
Oh my God,
I
yes,
have things.
love
please,
this.
Like I'm
please.
thinking to like the night we went out. I'm like, what moves did I pull out? Okay, number one, you got to make eye contact with the guy, but then the second you make eye contact with him, like look away, like be bashful. Oh my God, he caught me. Like you just like you have.
Dude, here's the thing. Let me just say something real quick. You know, we as guys are so susceptible sometimes to you all. Like we're thinking this is organic. You know what I mean? We're thinking that like I did that. You know what I mean? Like the I saw her, I made her feel that way. Meanwhile, this was orchestrated.
It's a 5-point plan.
You're my prey.
Yeah, no, honestly. Okay, I'm sorry.
So that's the first one. Because then he knows that like, oh, she saw me.
Yeah. Right.
And like you said, oh, I made her like blush.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
but like really, I'm like, come on over.
One of 27 already today.
I like eye contact with all the men. I'm like, who's gonna bite? Yeah, so that's
surveyed the
fishing.
room. You all believe it.
yes, that's that's like the first step.
Okay.
Also, if you have a drink, put a straw in it, bite on that straw a little bit. Like again, the playful eye contact, but bite on the straw.
Oh my
See,
God,
I'm
you guys are
telling
getting
you.
gold
No, I'm
out there.
telling you. It's okay.
Okay.
Like, when are we getting married?
wedding.
It's over.
Yes. And then eventually, if he's confident enough, he'll come over. And so then like my final step is I love to like grab their shoulder and whisper something to them. Like, because obviously you're somewhere loud.
Sure.
But like get close enough that like your lips almost like kind of touch the ear just ever so like accidentally. Like, hi, I'm Katie. What's your name? You know, but like touch the shoulder, whisper in the ear. And then it's just game over.
I feel like you've done a scientific analysis on like how people like feel like they're on top of the world.
Look,
That's crazy.
It's worked for me. Good luck, all you out there who want to try it. Let me know
No,
in the
those are
DMs.
it's the golden tips. It was incredible.
Wow.
It was incredible. I was like, is anybody else seeing this right now? Like this
The
is
masterclass.
amazing. Yes.
Welcome to my masterclass.
Wow.
See, this is my issue with flirting. I have always, one of the things I've always talked about, we talked about on Chatty Broads, I love flirting. I think it's a fun way to get out fun energy. It can feel empowering. It's also just I don't know, it's an energy that I love putting out there. My problem is this. When I like the person, my flirting ability has always gone out the window.
Okay, I will support that because like when I'm talking to someone I actually like there's an established like spark of some kind, all of a sudden I feel like a freaking nerd. All that confidence I just had 10 minutes ago, gone.
Gone.
It's gone. And it's embarrassing too because like I'm at a point where I just like embrace it and I'm like so yeah, it comes in waves.
That's good to know. Everybody out there, if someone is very smooth with you, they don't like you. Okay?
They're just waiting for that free drink.
They're waiting for the other one.
Maybe the
who's-
midnight
they're nervous.
kiss.
If they're stumbling over their words, that means they like you. If they're smooth, run away.
No, seriously though. I remember when Evan and I, because we were friends for so long, when all of a sudden like it like hit me like a ton of bricks that I was like, oh my God, I like him. I have a huge crush on him. I was level 10 embarrassing. Like I could not get the words out. There was no game at all.
I feel that. I've done voice memos to like a guy that I have a crush on. And then I'm like, I am not sending that. And I'll like redo it like 3 more times. I'm like, what is wrong with me? What is this grasp this man has on me right now? I hate this.
How do you, what's your flirtation style?
Sup?
Is that
just the worst?
Well, that's not working.
I'm very out of practice. I mean, I'll be honest with you. Very out of practice. I usually, if I'm trying to think on the past, I felt the same way. It was like, if there was someone who I was kind of vibing with, but it wasn't like amazing, my skills were like, I'd impress myself. You know what I mean? I'd be like, oh, that was smooth. That was a good line. That was this. But the second I thought someone was like really good, I was always just kind of like, so is your favorite color? You start to like collapse in onto yourself. But I try to, I think, not give away too much too early. Like it was always just kind of like, be funny, but don't give away anything yet.
Don't be vulnerable.
Don't be vulnerable yet.
Ooh.
Wait on that.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So it's like, don't be vulnerable, or like pick it. Like be self-deprecating in the right moment, but then also like back it up with something that's confident. So it's like play with the like, I think self-deprecation mixed with confidence. It's like that mix. You know what I mean? But I was never the guy that could like make, you know, like it was a master at it who could make anyone kind of like fall. For me, it was always like I had to be chemistry a little bit and then I could work with it.
We were talking earlier about how if he were to ever be on a reality dating show, that he would be one of like the genuine people who would fall in love in the first week.
Oh no!
Like those
are the ones that never make it.
No,
exactly. Or like it would be game over. Like he would get cut.
I know myself enough to know that like I would make it.
No,
like no way.
He would be cut. He'd be way too obsessed.
I'd either be not interested, so then I couldn't fake it.
Yeah, you'd be either feel like, nothing at all.
I'm very bad at faking it. So like if I'm not into it, and I'm just like, so anyways, like it would be, they'd immediately like, get him out of here, or I fall in love, and then I'm just like, what? I thought we had something special that no one else had. Oh. So I think that I would not be good at playing the game, as they say.
No.
Truly, like the most like normal, most genuine. I don't want to say basic, but just like your regular.
It's fine. I'm basic.
I was not saying that.
Just say it. Let's get it out.
He's a basic king.
Those are the ones that don't, make it on those dating shows usually.
Sure.
I mean,
yeah, I wouldn't make it.
What's fun about just organic, normal love?
That's true. Nothing.
You can't make anything out of it. There's no juice to squeeze out of it.
There's no ratings for that.
Even The Notebook had some drama, okay?
Yes. True. Oh my God.
I'd get obliterated. It'd be a bloodbath for sure.
He'd cry and they wouldn't even have to try. They'd be like, oh.
Yeah, they're like, oh, we're not filming yet.
wait.
So we've got the flirting tips, which is so helpful. So now you are single. Yes. And out there.
Yes.
What are you looking for?
The one.
Yeah.
Like I really am not about wasting time anymore. I mean, I'm 32. Like at a certain point, you got to like really stop compromising or like falling in love with people's potential, you know? So like it's kind of a lot for a guy to take in when it's like, no, I'm here to date and date seriously, you know?
Yeah.
So if you are unavailable, then thank you so much for your time. Have a great life, you know?
Do you feel like you're able to tell really quickly now?
I think there's people I've eliminated. Look, I'm still like in Bachelorette talk. Eliminated from my life. After our one-on-one dating, I sent him home.
That'd be fire. If I was trying to ask Katie out, I'd be like, so when's our one-on-one? She'd be like, you're out.
Oh. But yeah.
Week 3?
I'd be like,
it's a third date. It's week 3.
January 22nd? What are you talking about?
Yeah. But there are people I've gone on first dates with who I think in the past, I'd be like, oh, they were fine. And I would go on more dates with them. But I've been very quick to be like, it was a first date only situation because I just don't see it like being a long-term serious relationship. They might be a great guy, attractive, funny, like the date went fine. But I'm looking for like such an intense connection now that's going to be long-term, ideally the one. So I'm very quick to just cut people now. Yeah.
Is it hard for you to end things with people? Like if you've gone on a couple dates and everything's going smoothly, but you're like, it's just not it. Like having to
Yeah, I did have a date. God, this one was horrible. So most of the dates, we go on a date and then I just like fade away. I just fade away and it's just like, you read between the lines.
Yeah, you slowly, it's like the ghosting in a kind way.
Yeah, it's like.
So is it safe to say that in general, not putting you in a position where you feel like you have to brag or something, but men fall in love with you and then you kind of go, I'm sorry that you feel that way. I'm sorry that I'm not there. Or is it pretty 50-50? Do you find yourself in those positions as well?
I mean, in recent time, like, so this year, since ending things with John, or I guess he ended things with me. So no, John was not in love, apparently. Yeah. It's okay, guys. You're like, we're so sorry. Like, the room just got heavy. Dude, it's been fine. I'm doing great now. Okay.
I do know that.
Amazing.
I do know that.
Celebrate me.
I do know that she's doing well. That is a fact.
Jess knows things that will not be on this podcast.
Yeah. She's doing just fine.
I am a lockbox. You know what I'm saying?
But so for the most part,
we all kind of get a little tight for a second. She's like, look at here.
like, do we all need more champagne? Is everyone okay?
I have some, yes. I have some.
I'm like,
this is like a great opportunity.
You know, you never know with the breakups though, where you're a little bit like, I don't know, sometimes
literally the room, everyone just is like, we don't know how to laugh or
you
cry.
feel a little bit. I'm like, you know, I still, when I talk about an ex, I'm still just like, oh, no,
I'm thriving.
Yes.
Okay. No, so since then, I've gone on many, many first dates, and it was very easy to just kind of avoid, because they'll ask, like, who's the second date? I'm like, maybe, yeah. They eventually kind of get it with this. We don't need the conversation. But this one guy, he flew in from Tennessee.
Okay.
Flew in.
Yes.
You know what I mean? You're already really, really in it.
Well, here's the thing. I was trying to date so many men from LA who are like, oh, San Diego's so far.
Yeah.
And then this man comes from Tennessee.
Hops on a goddamn plane.
He's like, I will fly to come see you. And I'm like,
was it too much, or was it like a good sign where you're like, oh wow, this individual really?
I said no the first time, but then he like pursued, and I was like, okay, here's this man trying to pursue me from anher state, and these LA trash men are like, you're in San Diego, so
right.
you know. So I'm like, okay, fine, like come, let's do this. But it was the first time we were meeting in person, and that's where it's like not a good idea.
That's a lot of pressure.
It's a lot, which means your first date is like a full day date. It's not like just like dinner. Like, he flew in here, so like let's start off with brunch. Let's go on a walk. Let's go to the amusement park. Let's have drinks.
Was he staying with you too?
No, absolutely not. Thank God, because on our first and last date, we were watching the sunset.
Oh my
and
God.
Here's where you know it's going bad. I'm sitting there literally talking about my ex, and I'm like, oh yeah, like John loved watching the sunsets, and I hated watching the sunsets with him. But like this little voice in my head is like, Katie, cut this, some like slack. Like, you're talking about your ex, it's a sunset, whatever. But the vibes, I was just, you should have known, my friend, because the sunset happens and he goes, yeah, like I was gonna kiss you, but you were talking about your ex. And I go, oh, I really meant that in a good way. Like, truly, what I was trying to say was the sunsets are great with the right person, but it was word vomit, right? So I said, oh, haha, whatever. And then I don't remember what he said, but it was essentially a pickup line. And he goes into then like, it was like, well, now's a good time, or who knows what he said, because I fucking freaked out as he swerves in.
Oh no!
Swerve out.
Him.
I don't know. Why would he swerve in?
But I feel like I'm getting blotchy just reliving this memory right now. I swerved, and it was so uncomfortable, and there's no recovery. You don't recover.
It's over.
No, there's no recovery from that. And this was day one. He was there for like the weekend, So he was probably like the only time where afterwards I had to be like, look, I was hoping we'd have a stronger spark than what we have, and this is not working out. And it was just awkward. Like, the more he like tried to recover, because here's the thing, some guys would just take that and walk away and be like, this is over. But he was not a quitter. He tried. And here's the thing, I was like, oh, like I'd be happy to host you like as a friend and we can still explore. But then he took me up on that, and I was like, okay, just kidding. I'm so sorry. Like, I can't. And so, we haven't spoke since.
Oh my God. Good for you though, for just being like, no, because I think that that's the thing with dating, right? Where you're like, okay, if he flew out and then it didn't go great the first night and I'm not interested, then there's pressure. Like, well, you flew out, but it's like, but listen, like, you know, if it doesn't
That's a
work
risk.
out, that's the thing. That's the risk that you take. If you're going to fly out to Tennessee and then, or from Tennessee and the, even if you're interested and the other person isn't, well, then guess what? Maybe you're not going to have that second date when you're there for that second day. And that's just, you know.
And that's where I had to like really like grow up from like my old self. Old self would have been, again, I'm such a nurturing person. I want him to be happy.
Sure.
I would have just like allowed it the weekend to pan out however. But new me was like, look, I declined you the first time. You insisted on coming. That's on you. Unfortunately, that's the risk you took with this first date. That's now our last date. Thank you so much for your time. Contact your airline and see when you can go home.
I have a contact at
I've called them for you. No, but that's so good though. It's so good. And I think that was what it was too about when we were out. And I was watching you work the room for the first time, is that was like definitely the energy that was being exuded, where it's just like very like the having the fun flirting so in your power, like so like, no, these are the boundaries, these are the things, and you were just, yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, like the biggest thing like in pursuing comedy now is like comics are off limits. At least that's the advice I've been given. That's the advice I will be following. And so it was just very nice to like state that very clearly to like certain comics I'd be talking to, and like they'd be like, I get it. Like that is like this unspoken rule of like, these are now kind of like coworkers, schoolmates. We're all kind of going to be crossing paths. Like you don't want to get messy and get involved like romantically with a comic as you're like pursuing comedy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the workspace.
Have you always been confident in that? Like, you just seem like a confident person that loves themselves. And that's foreign to me. I'm just saying, like, you know what I mean? That's something like I work on. And it seems like it's pretty like it's coming out of you, you know? Is that something you've always, because I think about my daughter and I think Ember is just so much, she literally we were driving and she goes, Daddy, I love you. And you know who else I love? Myself. And I just thought like,
love her.
That is
so good. It makes me
like
so
a
happy.
foreign concept to me.
Yeah.
Have you kind of just like, you were always that kid, or is it something you developed over time?
I feel like I was always that person, but I can't really explain why.
Right. It just naturally.
I don't know. I feel like maybe it has a lot to do with like, and not to be like depressing, but like my upbringing, like my mom and dad didn't totally like raise me. So you have to be like self-care. You have to be so independent at such a young age.
Or it goes the opposite way.
I mean, true. So like in going to all the schools that I went to, I had to be quick to make friends, which then that carries into like the older you get, the more you develop your personality. And so, yeah, I mean, I do love myself.
Right.
Okay. But yeah, I don't know like at what age that started or like how that started. But like truly, it's just, life's just easier when you can do that. I know it's easier said than done, but like I'm not everybody's like cup of tea, and like I accept that. And when you can just like embrace your crazy, quirky, weird, nerdy, cringy, whatever you are, personality, life is just so much more fun because you're attracting those who are meant to be in your life and not faking it to keep these random people who are like toxic to you.
I mean, it's so powerful. Did you, coming off the show, then when all of a sudden there's all these people in your orbit, was that a process to continue feeling that way? Like when people are sending stuff and giving you a hard time?
I mean, there was definitely like a heavy moment because especially like when you do love yourself and you're like, I think I'm great, you know, and like you get these strangers who are like, you are a horrible person, you're this, that, and whatever, you know, you're kind of like, damn, like that's not me at all, you know. And there was a period of time where it's like, you can't take the time to prove that to everybody. You know, the people who matter know exactly who you are. They know your heart. They know you're giving, you're caring, you're supportive, you're kind. You know, you have good intentions. You're gonna fuck it up sometimes. You're gonna mess up on things you say or do, and that's just life. But the people who know you are the ones that matter. And so there was definitely like a learning curve for me to like stop taking it so personally when these strangers on the internet are judging me incorrectly. You know.
Yeah, that's something I have a really hard time with.
I know.
I have a hard time with that. I think a lot of it is like, you know, when you said if someone's judging you incorrectly, I think that's where then I will really struggle when if I, you know, get a DM from someone. And in general, I mean, you know how it is. It's like in general, there's so much love. But it's hard. It's like those ones that they get you and then you'll just be laying in bed. But it's always the ones where it's like, oh, I feel like you don't know me.
Yeah.
You don't know me, that like you'll, you know, send something that's like, oh, you're this way or this is what happened. And I'm like, it's just not true.
Yeah.
And they let it get to me.
Yeah. And I'm gonna butcher this quote and I forget who said it, but it was something along the lines of haters are determined to never get to know you. And so it's just like, why cater to those people who don't care? Like, you could have messed up and corrected yourself and learned and grown and done these things to be just a better person. Or maybe you've always been a great person, you know? But the people who want to hate are just going to go out of their way to hate you, no matter what you do to try to correct that, you know? So it's just not worth it.
Well, that's such a good quotation too. I mean, for literally anybody, like just the idea of, even if you didn't have social media, but especially now anybody with social media, it's like everyone's experiencing this to a certain degree in your everyday life.
Yeah.
I remember the moment when one of my friends looked at me. I mean, gosh, we were probably like 17 years old. And she was like, you do realize that not everyone will like you, correct? Like, there will be people in your life that just don't like you. And from your perspective, it might not be for any apparent reason. But sometimes people just don't get along and you kind of rub each other the wrong way. And realizing that, where I'm like, oh, it's okay if I'm not everyone's cup of tea. Like, it's okay if I bug certain people. Like, I remember coming to realize that I'm like, oh, my personality can be obnoxious to certain people. Some people, it's like, oh, it's too much or whatever. I'm like, oh, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's all right. Like, it's just me. You know, it's different when you're, you know, there's obviously a difference. It's like, you know, if there's active harm going on. But if I'm just being me and I'm just being kind to whoever, but I'm still going to, even if I'm being my most kindest and giving, I'm still going to bug people.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
I always like to flip it and think about like going to brunch, right? And who is it that you want to sit at your table? And then you think of like that coworker, that friend from school, whatever, who you're like, hell no, they are not invited. So then you realize like, oh, I don't like this person.
Yeah.
And so it's just like, that's just what it is. Like, there's certain people you want at your table and there's certain people that you're okay not being at your table. Like, if you don't like me, chances are I probably wouldn't like you either, you know? And that's why it's just so important to be your just like truest self, because you are going to attract the people that are meant to be there and be at that table with you. And if you're like catering to try and be like liked by everybody, that's an impossible goal. You're going to fail forever.
And if you don't like me, there's something wrong with you. That's my philosophy.
I want to find it in like a fortune cookie.
Yeah, I know exactly. Like, I'm sticking with this one. Well, speaking of social media, so obviously on the show, you were admirably vocal about being sex positive. Did people like give you hate for that on social media?
Yeah. And
really?
I hate the word sex positive. I just want that to be like known on the record.
Yeah.
Because like it's just embracing your sexuality, which a lot of women are doing. A lot of women are doing that. Like I'm no leader of the pact of being sex positive. Like literally, I took a test the other day that said I'm like so vanilla in bed, which is so embarrassing.
Oh yeah, I saw you.
Like, don't make me a sex positive leader when I'm also vanilla, okay?
I saw you post. I'm like, I need to ask you where you got that test. I'm like, I want to take this.
I learned some things about myself. But also there are people who just think like women are supposed to be like silent in their sexuality and in the bedroom. And literally like my stand-up, it's like 10 minutes of just it's all sex jokes, you know? And I'm going to get hate for that, but also it's just like so normal. This one like older woman was at my show and she came up to me and she was just so impressed. And that's not me tooting my own horn. It's just like the era that she grew up in. She's like, oh my God, you're just like me, but I had to be quiet, you know? And so, yeah, I definitely get hate being, quote, sex positive. But like, I don't fucking care, you know? Like, again, it goes back to the, like, if I'm offensive to you because I'm talking about, like, masturbation or, like, jizz, right. Like, chances are we have a very boring conversation, so
You're
please
like,
leave.
yeah, again, yeah. If I'm not your cup of tea, then sorry.
Yeah.
Like, no, you're
swerved,
just being...
dude.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Do you feel like do you feel like it's the same thing like you're saying with conversations or stand-up or whatever, or even on the show? Do you feel like that a first date or a second date where you're kind of going there and kind of being funny or, you know, throwing quips around and they're like kind of jarred by it or like,
yeah,
and then that helps you know, like this isn't going to work.
Exactly. There's definitely like, there's this guy who had like a religious quote in his Instagram
Sure.
and I just kind of already knew that we probably weren't compatible. And before even our first date, I brought up Chick-fil-A and like his stance on Chick-fil-A and their views. And I was able to just like...
She's like, So what are you?
honestly, so it's like,
Let's figure this out real quick. Let's figure this out real quick.
It's a great way to filter out the men that I just know will not be compatible with my life, my views, whatever, just based on their response about Chick-fil-A. You know?
I love
great.
that.
Oh, he probably had no idea he was being tested. But I'm like, you failed. See you never.
You're like, you say something like, ooh, Chick-fil-A looks good. And then you're like, does it?
Yeah. Yep.
I love that move.
So.
Also, by the way, what is vanilla?
I mean, look,
Like, what does that mean on a sex test?
okay, the questions were intense. They
Yeah,
were
what is
like,
this
they were
sex
like
test?
on a scale of like, I forget, like 1 to 5. Do you enjoy watching your partner cry tears of pain? And I'm like, no.
Whoa. It's like a BDSM
Yeah, I was thinking
quiz.
BDSM
Yeah.
one more. I
Yeah,
was like,
it was more
okay.
like BDSM because like it was like very intense stuff and like prisoner, and I'm like, okay, like I'm very vanilla if there's like a torture and cages and whip, like
Yeah, you're like, on this scale, I guess I'm vanilla.
I'm vanilla.
but-
I don't want to put my partner in a cage.
yeah, and then it went even into like watching your partner with other people. I'm
Yeah.
like, for me, no,
Yeah.
no, thank you. You know,
So you're like, I guess.
so I'm aggressively,
vanilla.
literally, it was 100% vanilla. Oh, and I shared that. I'm like, cool.
Cool.
Pillow princess.
Yeah, no, I was about to say, I'm like, I'm a pillow princess over here.
Yes.
I'm like, you know, that's what we do.
That's what we did, she says.
Oh, yes.
Like, I like to be loungy.
Yeah.
You know,
Like
that's
to
what I
relax.
I know. It's so nice to just relax. Let you guys do all the work. Okay, I had a little game.
Ooh.
If you're down.
I'm always down for
I'm
a
thinking
game.
about, like, we're talking, you know, some dating, especially dating in Hollywood.
She looks so guilty. Like I'm chugging my champagne.
No, I promise. I'm not gonna. It's a lockbox. No. Speaking of in the dating world, and
Yes.
especially now that you are, you know, trying to find the one,
Yes.
right? Have a game that we'll call Deal Breaker, Red Flag, or No Worries.
Ooh, I like that.
So listen, there's so many things on this list that I'm like, some of these I'm looking at myself personally and I'm like, wouldn't bother me at all. Some might. I think it's going to be very person to person. So you let us know, deal breaker, red flag, or no worries. And by the way, you can talk about it too. I don't
Okay.
need the one word.
Okay.
Not the
I'm
quick
like,
fire.
yes. No.
Yes, no. We got to do this whole
Pass.
segment in under 3 minutes. Go.
Speed round.
They put pineapple on their pizza.
Ugh. I mean, no worries, but judging.
Yeah. It's like an orange flag.
It's just like
Yeah.
we will
Or
not be
yellow.
sharing. We'll be doing the half, the no pineapple on my side, please.
I guess the positive side to that is that I would then get I would get a full pizza to myself.
Are you a pineapple?
No, I'm saying if someone else is a pineapple eater, then I don't have to share my pizza with you. Okay, they show up 30 minutes late to your first date.
Deal breaker.
You're
I'm so punctual, first of all.
You are like on the dot.
Literally,
punctual.
I texted Jess like 5 times on my way. I'm like, here's the updated time. Here's the updated time. Here's the updated. Like, I'm so punctual. Also, I'm a fucking goddess, and you're gonna show up half an hour late.
Yes.
This is that love we're talking about. The
I
self-love.
love that.
I wouldn't even be there to find out. 15 minutes late, and I'm out. Goodbye, loser.
I
I've
love
left a
it.
note. I've left a note on the table. I've given the waiter a note to give to you to be like goodbye.
Yeah.
Wow.
Deal breaker.
My dust. No, you are punctual. The first time we ever hung out, you were sending me messages of updating me with the time, and I was like, "This is my love language
Yeah.
because I can prepare on when
If
I
you
can
move
get
to
ready."
LA, by the way, you got to get ready for that because people are late. There's like a general, wouldn't you
LA
say, Lee,
time.
that there's just a general like 30-minute window of like if someone says they're going to be there at 2 or 3 or whatever, it's like that means 2 to 2:30.
I literally lied to my friends in LA. I lied to them about the time because I know I've experienced this.
They're
so
gonna be
I'll
late.
I'll give them a fake time, knowing they're going to be an hour late, and they're
That's a G
still on
move right
time.
there.
She's on top of it. Oh my God.
Mastermind.
What do you think? Okay, if they're 30 minutes late for your first date, but they've given you a heads up.
I mean,
that's a
I'd
good
want to know what
question.
the reason is. Like, did your dog get hit by a car, or did you just like oversleep?
It better be catastrophic.
Literally.
What if it was, sorry, got caught up at work?
I mean, what's your job? You know,
Right.
Are you working at like some fast food place?
Instagram. This reel took me forever.
Is it an influencer?
Sorry, I was like this reel. I was trying to edit it.
I just can't. I can't. I'm a planner. I'm punctual.
Right.
I would never be 30 minutes late unless there like an accident. Like the freeway is closed down. I don't know what's going on.
Right.
Here's my. I would send photographic evidence, which I'm going to be requesting from him.
Yeah, got it. I love it.
Send me a picture now.
Yeah.
Prove it. They're rude to restaurant staff.
Oh, goodbye.
Bye.
What was
Deal breaker.
Deal breaker. Yeah.
Check, please.
Yeah. I can't. I'm so polite to everybody. Like, please and thank yous is just like are part of like breathing for me, that I recognize it so quickly when someone is so like negative or closed off. Even when they come to pour water, I stop my conversation. I make eye contact with the server. I say thank you so much, and I continue my conversation. I can't. No.
Oh yeah. No. That's a
Okay, so
big
say
deal
you got
breaker.
on 3 dates and none of them were restaurants.
Okay.
And it's been fireworks. Fireworks.
Yeah.
And then you go to the restaurant and he goes, and he's rude.
A deal breaker.
So you'd cut that. You wouldn't try and kind of like correct him.
I would definitely say something.
Okay.
I am very direct. I'm not even passive. I'm just direct.
Right.
And to me, that would say like, oh, you're just putting like your best foot forward
got
on these
it.
first dates. Now I'm seeing your true colors because you're getting comfortable.
Sure. Okay.
You suck.
Love it.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Every time they use the bathroom, they're in there for at least 30 minutes.
30 minutes? This is IBS? What's happening?
I'm just thinking, I'm like, are they on their phone?
What if you have a child
in the bathroom?
and it's your only
This
place
feels personal
of
suddenly.
of
It's very
refuge?
personal.
Are we projecting? What?
This is really personal.
What's really the question?
What if it's a
vendetta.
30 minutes, sir?
The 30 is long. 15.
You
Okay.
do 15. It's the clearly like I'm going into the bathroom and I'm having a moment of alone time.
This isn't even relatable to me. This is definitely like a married couple question right now. I can just tell.
She's airing it out.
Okay, Evan.
What about though? Okay, let's take away any sort of the vendetta that
Right.
we have. The question is, if you've gone on a few dates with him, and let's just say you're staying at your place, and every time he goes to the bathroom, he's just like in there for a really long time.
Like an awkward amount of time.
I would ask. I'd be like, "Are you okay?" Because it is concerning.
This
red
is-
flag. Red flag. We'll call it.
Red flag. See, the communication is, in my opinion, you're such a fantastic example of
I have to be.
communication. Yeah.
You literally
Instead of just grinding about it and being like, "What are you doing?"
If you're
in there?"
passive, if you're petty, if you're quiet, you can save so much time by just being so direct with somebody.
Wow.
Right. Also, then you're not. There's not that weird moment. Let's just say, he was gluten free. And you had been making things that had a gluten in it.
Pizza 5 days a week.
But because you made it, he didn't want to say anything. So now he's struggling. But then if you just have the conversation, then you're good to go.
Literally.
He's farting in the towels.
Yeah.
Wait, I have a question. Speaking of farting in the towels, have you ever gone to the bathroom and tried to like be quiet because you knew there was going to be like noise?
Oh my gosh.
Because I've done like different things. Like it made me think of like things
Yeah.
I've done. If I have to like take a shit, I will lay the toilet paper down first inside.
So it doesn't hit the water.
So there's no splash. It's like a soft landing.
That's a really good idea.
Yeah.
Wow.
I've also gone as far. Why am I telling you? I have no idea.
I appreciate this.
I've also gone as far as like you feel gassy, right? But you can't just let it out normally.
Can't rip.
You sit down, you pull apart, make the hole bigger. So that the air can escape like more freely without like literally rather than like a full like noise.
Oh, that's amazing. It's risky. I mean, either way, it's coming out. So like, you never know. But you might as well not create more percussion.
I'll do it in. I'll
that's
wad up
great.
a roll of toilet paper and I'll do it into that.
Well, you hold it to your butt.
hold it.
You fart into it? Dude, there's nothing
dims the
worse than the fart feeling of like if I do this and it echoes through the halls, like everything changes. Everything changes. It's just like
I'm gonna try that.
It works really well.
It's
I've
like a
never.
little cough from your butt.
Yeah, you just do. It's like a handkerchief, and you put it under.
oh my god,
It works.
That's brilliant.
I've never had it. I've never had it not work.
Wow.
Yo,
to be honest.
everyone submit your fart covering techniques.
Yeah.
Honestly, It sounds like there's multiple levels of discretion.
We have many techniques. We have multiple techniques in the room, let alone everybody out there. So we need to hear the techniques.
I'm so excited for that. Please keep me posted on the DMs.
Please send us them. Oh my gosh. Oh,
This is great.
okay. You've been on 10 dates
Holy shit.
and they haven't introduced you to any of their friends.
It's a red flag.
Okay.
There's definitely a conversation being had.
How many dates in would you have that conversation about, like, hey, just FYI?
I mean, okay, but I feel like by 10 dates, you're definitely like boyfriend, girlfriend. And if you're not, that's a red flag. You know, it's like, what are we? 10 dates?
Yeah, 10 dates. It's like, unless you're hanging out with each other 10 days in a row, what do you consider that date? Even that is like, we've been together for 10 days straight.
Literally, I think that's more time than me when I got engaged. You know? Like, at that point.
I think we were like at 8.
I mean, come on.
Yeah, 4 or 5.
Yeah. So I just feel like once you're like in that status of like boyfriend, girlfriend, there definitely needs to be something. I would say within the 10 dates, outside of the 10 date window, something's up. Something's sketchy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one would make me nervous.
What if he was like, I'm not a big friend guy?
You just have no friends.
I got a couple, but like we see each other every once in a while, but I'm not like always going out with them. I just work and I chill.
I mean, look, it would depend. Like, I feel like if you spend enough time with them, you would recognize that is true. You're like, oh, he's just a homebody.
Yeah.
Living under a rock. Love that for him. You know?
Right.
Right.
like,
you stay home, I'll go with my friends, and then I'll come back to the house when...
But if he can't hang out Friday night because he's with his friends, I'm like, so when am I going to meet these guys? You know? Yeah.
They serenade you every time you get together. So let's just say...
Okay.
So let's just say...
This is so specific.
Let's just say, you know what it is.
You, Evan?
I promise I don't do this.
I would...
The only thing I do is spend some time in the bathroom. I promise.
This
Half an hour to be exact.
This was a specific one to me because Evan, in the music industry, there's a lot of musicians around. I feel very uncomfortable when someone looks me in my eyes and serenades me. It makes me very uncomfortable.
God.
Now, if they're playing in the corner and I'm like in the room, then I'm like, oh, this is nice.
Yeah, right.
I'm enjoying this. But like a deep look in, I feel uncomfortable. So I'm just curious if every time, let's just say one of these Hollywood men that you're going out with is in music, and every time you guys get together,
He starts playing and singing to you.
would you be like,
I actually feel like I do have a soft spot for someone who's like musically talented. I also love like corny romance, and that just feels very like cheesy. I remember Connor the cat.
Yes.
Serenaded me, and I like almost cried. So I think I'm a softie for like a musician for sure.
Yeah.
Wow.
I just don't know what to do with my eyes or my hands. You know what I mean? When someone's serenading me, I'm like, I don't know where to look. I'm like,
I mean, if it's good, I have like hearts in my eyes. If it's bad, I'm like, how do I get out of this?
Right.
But if it's coming, if it's coming from the heart, even if it's
I feel like I feel like we'll be fine. Keep going. What are the words again?
The
Not
deal
a problem,
breaker.
No worries.
No worries.
No worries. All right. Love that. I love
Sing
that.
away, baby.
I need to, deal with learning how to, I guess, have deep, intimate eye contact while being sung to. They go to the gym twice a day.
Here's the thing. That's very healthy for them. It is a red flag in terms of compatibility because while they're going to the gym twice a day, I'm going to like fast food at least twice a week.
Samesies,
And I just don't know how we're going to mesh. Like if you literally like if you don't like Taco Bell, like I ding that against you.
Agree.
Yes.
Because I just
deep agree.
But here's the thing, like food in general is a like social thing. And so if you're like and I'm not trying to stereotype, but if you're like a chicken and rice and broccoli kind of person, and I'm like, I love Taco Bell, I love McDonald's the day after a hangover, and we can't like enjoy each other's company in that food experience.
Yes, that 2 a.m. like Del Taco Bell dive. Yeah.
So my assumption is a 2-a-day gym rat and I are probably not compatible long term, and I would give it a red flag.
I like this.
Yeah.
I like that.
You've had 2 dates together, and they still haven't texted and called, only DM'd.
Ew. Wait, do they have my number?
They have your number, but they only ever just DM you.
Actually, I take that back. There are people that have my number, but we talk a lot in the DMs. It's just sometimes the voice memo is great because it's 60-second limit versus like iMessage limit. Like you and I know, Jess. Our voice memos are freaking mini podcast episodes.
7 minutes each. We're just I'm like, oh shit, I lifted my finger up and now it's like, we're 6 minutes in.
Yeah. So not a problem. I don't think that's a problem. As long as the communication is continuing ongoing in the DMs.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how many dates in then are you like, you still haven't texted or called, you've only DM'd me?
I really think it depends because like I said, like there are people that have been in my life for like 2+ years and we are more active in the DMs, than the text. So I don't know why. It's different for everybody. But there's something about Instagram with the voice memo and the limit. The limit's a big one.
It's been 3 dates and you've never left his house.
What? Like I'm just trapped?
No.
Like I'm just in his bed? The sex must be great.
Yes,
You're like,
Good
I'm gonna take that sex quiz again. No, like every time you have a date, he's like, come over and let me make you dinner. And so you're like,
Funny you should ask that because these men in Hollywood love a good secret and you can keep that best at home. Which, okay, to be fair though, like there is a level of understanding. You're like, I get it. Like,
can't just go to a restaurant.
Yeah, like if there's paparazzi, whatever, or like maybe it's your secret girlfriend. I don't know, to be determined.
Right.
And so that actually is like the tough part about like these house dates, especially with people like you are kind of being like, oh, I get it. Like you're famous. I get it. But then they come out with a girlfriend. You're like, oh, now I really get it. Now I really get those house dates.
I understand why.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a rough one too, because you're just like, I don't know if you're aware of paparazzi and you're concerned about that.
Yeah.
Or if I'm being kept a secret.
Exactly. So I would say red. It's discoverable.
He's never had a girlfriend.
Oh, no. Done. Gone. Absolutely not.
You mean like just been dates and hookups and flings and whatever?
I don't
Never
have
a
time.
girlfriend.
I don't have time to train anymore. Like I think in my early 20s I'd be like, this is fine. But like in my 30s, hell no.
Yeah.
I don't even know how we're talking right now.
You want the experience.
I need a mature, experienced man.
Yeah. I think if I was single, I would specifically go for someone who is a dad or
I do love dads.
was a dad.
What's up?
Or like someone who, maybe even was divorced or something.
Truly.
Because I'm like, okay.
I do have a soft spot for like divorcees and daddies.
Okay,
Yeah.
ready? 2 times.
Oh, sorry. I was like, what does this mean?
2 times. You're the 2 times divorced. That changes things.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Some people get married like really young, like 18.
Okay.
To me, that one doesn't count.
Okay.
And then they get married in like the real adulthood.
Yeah.
Right.
And then that's like the normal one.
Okay.
I feel like depending what age they were in the scenario and like religious upbringing and what all the things.
Sure.
It's that's not off the table.
Got it. Okay. All right. Love that.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, I'd be a little in my head. I'd be a little like, oh,
Right.
2. But it just depends on why.
Okay.
Yeah.
It just depends on why.
What if one's dead?
That's true. If someone's
I
a
wouldn't look
widow.
at that as a divorce.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I went dark. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
guys.
I'm sorry. They wear Crocs.
I love that you brought this
That's a
up.
great question.
I love that you brought this up because there's a man I'm talking to right now who rocks the Crocs.
Yes.
And here's the thing. I hate it. But I like him enough that
Yeah.
I guess it's fine. It's fine.
You're willing
No
to deal with the
problem.
Crocs.
No problem, stinky foot.
But he loves. They do smell.
I mean, it's just plastic
Yeah.
and flesh.
Where
Does your sweat go?
I love someone when I see someone in a
love
pair
it?
of Crocs. I love it because I'm like, it's a choice that you made, and I kind of like that. Where you're like, you're choosing your own style, and I like someone who's like decided about how they are, what their fashion is. So I'm like, even if it's not for me, I appreciate the choice.
But dating?
Yeah, I'd date someone who wears Crocs.
I mean, yeah, I'm not too judgmental on the like exterior, but I am judging on the Crocs.
Yeah, right. No, it's a lifestyle.
Ugh.
Once you transfer into Crocs, it's definitely a move.
Are you a Crocs guy?
I'm not.
Oh.
I'm not.
Are you a Crocs guy?
I've never put them on. It's fear of becoming a Crocs guy. If you put them
That's
on,
a good fear to
done.
have.
You know what?
Embrace that.
It's true. Maybe once you put them on, then you're like, there's no going
It's
back.
like sweats. You know what I mean? Like you like
true.
it's like sweats people or like sweat shorts. I put the sweat shorts on for COVID
and you never took them off. Yeah.
So it's like it's a dangerous thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Claps when the plane lands.
Ew. Is that a thing? Wait, do you do that?
Oh, I fully clap.
Wait, you every time you clap?
I clap.
Are you sober?
No, I'm not.
Good job, Captain.
Maybe you're drunk on mimosas. You're like, yeah, baby. You know.
I saw this whole thing on like it was
That's
it was
hilarious.
on Instagram or something where all these memes about like people who clap when the plane lands are the worst people on the planet, and I was like, I've been that person my whole life. Whenever the plane lands, I always clap. I also clap when the movie's done, like in a movie theater.
If you're watching on YouTube, my face is I don't even know what to say.
Here's what I would look at that as. I would look at that as I wish my heart was as pure as that person.
What?
You know what I mean? Like if someone was clapping because they landed, I would be like, wow, that person just looks at the world like through love.
I mean, just more like
That's true. Now I feel like a piece of shit.
Yeah, me too. I mean, I bet the flight attendants and the crew appreciate it.
That's what I'm saying.
You know, but I've never thought of it that way.
it's just more like I think maybe it's my adrenaline because I think I do it on roller coasters too. And like the roller coaster's done, I'm like, yes.
See, look how sweet that is.
No, I have
So it's
clapped
like
on
my
a roller
adrenaline.
coaster. I'll be like, this was great. You know, like the feedback.
I think it's my adrenaline.
Are you the only one clapping, or do you notice others?
Sometimes well, I start clapping and then typically a few people will join me.
Oh, you're a trendsetter.
You know, it's a little bit like if
Come on, guys.
if you
Let's
listen,
go.
I swear to God, if you are in a room and there is no one clapping and you clap long enough, typically someone will eventually start clapping.
true.
because they feel bad.
Yeah, exactly.
Clapping is kind of like
they're like,
that.
this
though.
bitch is lonely. Like, someone join in. I'm just like, thank you so much.
Clapping is that thing though. It kind of you kind of like think you should be a part of it. Can I make a quick caveat to this?
Yeah.
Someone who this is for you. Someone who you land
Okay.
and they get up immediately and they wait.
I hate that.
Now that's a
I
big one
hate
for
that.
me. Okay.
Especially as someone who like gets the window seat, the person who stands up next to me, like, your ass is in my face. You have nowhere to go. What are you doing?
Like, you know, they rush into the aisle and they're
Yeah.
kind of sitting there and they're waiting for 25 minutes.
Yeah.
That's the world's biggest mystery to me.
I hate that. I don't like
Okay.
Okay, so clapping with the plane lands.
I support you in all of your endeavors.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Oh, hates reality TV.
Oh, that one I respect. I get it, but then I'm like, why are you talking to me? Like, are you judging? Like, I'm gonna feel a little insecure now.
Yeah.
Because like, what makes you hate it? Is it the people? Because like everyone who's on reality TV loves like having a big personality.
Of course,
you know?
yeah.
And so I'm like, what is it you don't like about it? You know?
Yeah.
So I get it. I kind of also now kind of hate it too, but it also is a big part of my journey.
Right.
So I'm like, how do you feel about me then?
Yeah.
Red flag. A conversation.
A conversation. That makes
Yeah.
sense. You kind of answered this one. I said it is also a comedian.
Okay, here's the advice I got from a female comic who's like
Yes.
in the industry and very experienced. She said, don't fuck them now, fuck them later. Meaning like get that power, get that experience, get that reputation as a comic first,
Yes.
then do what you want. So for now, I cannot. They are off limits. Thank you, but no thank you. You're funny, you're hot, you are tempting, but no thank you.
Yeah.
Now, let me get my Netflix special and
Right, and
establish
then-
myself.
And then,
And then I'm a dominant woman in
and then
the
it's another
comedy scene.
it's another conversation.
Yeah.
Love that.
Oh, this one is from Ember.
Oh, I love Ember so much.
She loves you. Katie has never met Ember yet, and then Katie brings treats every time.
Yeah.
I mean, what an angel.
I
And
always ask permission,
knows,
though.
I know she always, to a parent, it has a parent that makes me like,
So
I
sweet.
so appreciate
So
that. I'm
sweet.
like, thank you so much. But now Ember is like, her brain is trained. It's like, Katie's coming. That means there's treats.
There's candy.
Ember's question for deal breaker, red flag, or no worries is they make you cookies and use raisins instead of chocolate chips.
Bless her heart. She knows a red flag. Because
How
She
did
knows
those
them
even
already.
get there? And I looked at her and I was like, what do you want? She's like chocolate chips, of course. Like, what are you even talking about? Who wants
Yeah.
raisins in there?
Yeah, I respect her.
So do I.
Red flag.
I think-
Maybe deal breaker.
Deal breaker.
Honestly,
You're
deal
out.
breaker done.
They're like, I made
Sorry.
you cookies. And they're like, "These raisins.
Literally, when was the last time you even bought a raisin? Like, that's just a weird ingredient.
Yeah,
very
I'm not a
bizarre.
fan of a raisin.
And then you're going out of your way to make a cookie, and you, out of all the combos you can make, that's the choice. Honestly, the more I talk about it, the more I'm like,
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's a
right.
rage.
Like, no,
There's
it's
a
actually a
blood
deal
rage.
breaker. It's actually a deal breaker. Does not like your favorite music genre at all.
that is okay. Because I like emo music. I would say that's my favorite. And not everybody does. And I know that. You know, so if they like country, that would be like a second choice for me. You know, if they like pop, third choice. Rap, we have nothing in common at that point. But it's okay. It's fine.
It's okay.
It's okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Is best friends with his ex-girlfriend.
Oh, nope. Nope. No.
You won't
I'm
do
triggered.
it.
I'm ready to fight someone right now. I'm ready
Oh,
to
you hit a
throw.
nerve.
Oh, that's a nerve. And sir, if you're listening, because I know you fucking are.
Is it really?
Wow.
Oh, okay.
Look, yeah, there's just no point. In my opinion, there's really no point unless
You always feel on edge, too.
Unless you have a child together, there's just no point to continue that connection. You guys had a connection. It's over. There's just really no point to keep that friendship in your life. And if you have it still, I just really feel like there's unresolved emotions that you need to process. And I feel like I'm really like speaking from like true experience right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just like then you're just not ready probably for a relationship, in my opinion.
Now, my thought is this. Best friend to me would be rough. But remaining friends to a certain degree, to me, sometimes can be a green flag because I'm like, oh, you can end relationships in a healthy way.
I mean, yeah.
Like where you're like, okay, it's not this
Right.
toxic blowout. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, you're friendly still.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
like being friendly or acquaintances. Like when I applied for the show, they reached out to your exes, and I was so confident, regardless of like the friendship not being there, we ended on good terms. There was not going to be any dirt. I was fine with that. I was like, here's all their numbers, here's their address, here's their name, whatever. I just do feel a little uneasy about like the level of the friendship. You know, I guess it all depends. Like, are you guys best friends? Are you talking every day? Or are you just like at the holiday party because you have mutual acquaintances, you know?
All right, last one.
It triggered me.
She's sweating.
I am. Just like hot right
Get a
now.
towel in here.
Too soon.
Last one. Never showers, only bathes.
That is so random.
Whoa.
But every day?
Yeah,
He's just like, so I'm going to be right back. I'm going to take a bath.
I mean,
every day.
I think that's okay.
No
I
problem.
respect a clean gentleman, regardless how you would attain that.
Okay. A few of these were about me.
You don't say.
Anytime she goes, wow, what is this question? It's probably about Jess or me.
Claps on a plane, bathes every day.
I'm like, I'm not a shower person. I take a bath, and I take a bath like 3 times
When
a
was
day.
the last time you took a shower?
3 times a day.
I take a bath like it typically at
When
least
she's
twice
cold,
a day.
when she's cold, instead of putting on a sweater, she takes a bath.
I love a bath, but
Yeah.
they are like, it's like a luxurious experience for
Yeah.
me. A daily one feels exhausting.
It warms up my bones.
Okay, Grandma. Want to move to Arizona next? Jesus.
My daughter now knows whenever I'm cold, I go, I'm taking a bath because my bones is cold. And so then when Ember sees me running a bath, she goes, is your bones cold? I'm like, yeah, they're
Wait,
cold.
how long are your baths?
I
Not long. I will say you're like a shower length bath person.
yeah, and I mean,
Which is
and I
wild.
also don't make them very deep because I don't want to waste the water, but I like cook it like boiling hot and dip in it, like scald myself for a few minutes, and then
Wait,
I pop
is it just
out.
water or is there like bubble bath?
No,
oil?
just water.
Ew.
Burning hot water.
No, here's the thing. I love a bath, but I
She's
don't want
like
to.
sitting in your own filth.
Yeah, so like the only way I can like mentally get over the fact that I'm sitting literally in my dirty water is like having like a
Soaps.
blue bath bomb that changes the color.
Sure.
Soap that like changes the layer. Like
Yeah.
I see nothing. I know nothing. And even after I rinse off in the shower to get all of that off. So you're sitting in like human soup
Oh, so
water.
you'll take a bath, then take a shower afterwards.
Just a rinse, because I have the soap on me.
Yeah, you rinse it off. No, I'm like, I credit myself enough where I'm like, you take enough baths a day that there's not typically any filth going on.
Fair. You just said 3 times a day, which is insane.
It's a lot. It's kind of my vice is the burning, scalding hot bath.
You know, the sex is clean, so.
No, she's the cleanest person ever. She's so clean.
Did you tell him what we talked about the other day with the booty hole?
No, tell him.
Okay. I bring up her being clean.
Let's hear about the booty hole.
Yeah.
So I found out from a guy friend that during doggy style, a guy or whoever, whatever you're doing, can smell your ass. If it like, not everybody, but there's like booty body odor.
I mean, yeah, if you got a stinky ass, I'm right next to it.
But I never thought about it.
Think about it. I mean, it's like if I'm, you know what's crazy is if you make out with someone, if you have bad breath, they can taste it or smell it. It's going to be like that. Your ass is like 2 feet from my face.
2 feet. That's a lot of stench to work its way up to your nostrils, though.
It's a powerful stench.
That's what
So think about it. You don't have to have a lot for it to be accessible.
Katie told me this, and I was like, I have never in my entire life thought about this. And I was very happy to learn about it because I'm like, now I can be aware of giving myself a nice little scrub down.
You're the cleanest person in the world. Yeah. So like never been a problem, but definitely if you're not aware of that or like clean, like can be a problem for sure.
2 feet. Like that's aggressive. I'm sorry. Like I was just shocked to learn that. Like I get if you're like eating ass. Like yeah, your nose.
Sure, you're right up in there.
69. Your nose is in it.
Yeah.
Doggy style.
Never thought about that.
I thought that was a safe zone.
Yeah.
You always got to think about this. I mean, if we're going here,
let's go here.
When you are having sex, what's happening is this. What does that? It wafts. Think about it. I just think about it now.
Face right now.
I'm just thinking about it now. If you're going like this, right? You're creating air impact.
Like a plunger.
No, just like it's creating like, if I go like this, if you were right here, if I went like this, you'd probably feel like a wind.
Oh.
So wind is shooting straight up.
Listen.
New insecurity.
No, I refuse. Refuse.
I mean, she has 3 baths a day. She's fine.
She's like
But like after a concert, I might be like taking a baby wipe and just
that's
like
the thing. That was why
worst case scenario solved.
That's why I appreciated learning this because I was like, you know what? Like, if you don't care, then who cares?
Right.
Then you're doing your thing. But if it's something that you're like, aware of and I wasn't aware of before, I'm like, okay, well now normally I'd think if I was feeling a little sticky post a concert, I'd think doggy style is an option and
rip a wipe.
Yeah, rip a wipe.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, thank you for doing
That's an epic way to end this.
Well, thank you for doing the deal breaker, red flag or no worries. Okay, before we end, I do need to ask you this.
Yes.
I want to hear about the comedy because this is the world you're diving into. I'm so excited for you.
Yes.
You're crushing it. Your first show ever was in front of thousands of people opening up for Whitney Cummings, which is still the wildest thing I've ever heard.
It's so backwards.
Oh my God,
just so nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
I literally can't imagine. How is it going right now?
I love it. I'm really taking it seriously in 2023. I have a show coming up on the 5th in Tacoma, Washington. Actually, I don't know if I told you this, but on February 15th, Dave Neal and I are doing a show together.
I literally just heard from Dave Neal and I put it in my calendar right away. Now, everybody listening, Dave Neal and Katie Thurston, are you kidding me? That's a show you got to go to.
I think it's going to be fun. I think it's going to be fun. So yeah, just really forcing myself to like get out there, put in the effort. I'm doing the open mics. I'm doing the small shows that I'm not totally communicating because that's like my practice time, you know? Right. So yeah, I'm just stoked to see where it goes. And these are paid shows. Like my dream is to just make a living making people laugh. And that's what I'm pursuing this year.
So cool.
So amazing. And I heard you were barking too.
Oh my God. Yeah. So like I'm learning all the things that like the comics have to do. And so, in a normal setting, you have to kind of like earn your stage time, and the way you do that is by basically free labor. If you do what's called barking and you take the flyers out on the streets like an hour before the show and you're like, come in, it's free, and we're like those, I did that. We were those people like that you see that you kind of like cross the street, you're like, let's avoid them. And so I'm giving like little like miniature comedy shows on the streets. I'm like, hey, what's up, San Diego? What are you guys doing tonight? And just trying to get people to come in and yeah, so like even though I have this platform,
It's gonna be so weird. Be walking by and be like, "Is that?"
It did happen. Like,
"What
someone
is
recognized you. Okay,
happening?"
yeah. I'm like, there's no way someone didn't.
No, they definitely, like, people recognize me. Like, it's so fun to watch them do this double take, because here's this girl in like this like oversized hoodie and like these flyers, and then you just see them like processing it, and they're like,
They walk
wait,
away.
They're
what?
like, something's off.
Yeah. And then they end up coming.
That's
and,
amazing.
Yeah. So putting in the work, I'm no shortcuts here. I know I have an advantage, but like I also know I have very little experience, and so I'm just trying to like build that that reputation within the community here in San Diego and in LA, and yeah.
It's so amazing. I'm so happy
Really
for
cool.
you.
Thank you.
Is there someone who would be the dream to tour with?
Oh my God. Oh, I actually really love Taylor Tomlinson. Like,
Amazing.
I just feel like there's just something there. Like, it would just
She's
be such a
awesome.
so
female
good.
empowered show. I know
Yeah.
you guys have had her on before.
It's amazing.
I mean, she's awesome, but like, literally, the sky's the limit. Who knows? Who knows?
Seriously.
Yeah.
2023 is going to be it.
I really feel good
Yeah.
about it. I really, something about being 32 in the year 23 just feels like this symbolic thing. I don't know if you're into numbers, DM me what that means, but there's something there. There's something there, and I feel freaking good about it.
It feels good.
Yeah.
Katie, thank you so much for coming on.
That was
I
awesome.
love you
Oh my God, it
so
was so much
much.
That was
fun.
amazing.
Love you. And okay, so your comedy show's coming up. You're
Yeah.
posting about those on
Yeah,
Instagram.
find it. I'm at the Katie Thurston. Go to my link in bio to see the next shows coming up. There's the links there.
Amazing. And then your YouTube.
YouTube. I do a weekly live stream every Thursday, Thirsty Thursday.
Let's go.
Yeah. Just like really, I'm just trying everything. I'm really just like, when you have all this like free time, you just want to do everything. And so at 2023, I'm trying to like hone in on like what it is I'm freaking doing in my life, because life is crazy sometimes.
Yeah.
Well, we love you. Thank you
guys.
Thank
so
you.
much.
That was awesome. That was amazing.
Well, wow. What a great time with our friend Katie. That was so much
That
fun.
was
Thank you so much,
awesome.
Katie, for coming on.
Just like having a friend on.
It was amazing.
You know what I mean?
It was amazing.
She was electric. I had a blast.
Me too.
Yeah.
It was a good time. I'm feeling like, I don't
I'm
know.
ready to start dating.
Okay, let's do
You
it.
know what I mean?
You want to go on a date tonight?
Oh, yeah. Me and you. Sorry. My bad.
What about we go out on a date tonight?
Okay.
And while we're on a date, I will use some of the flirting tips that I've learned from Katie on you
Okay.
across the room.
See if it
Maybe we
provides
could
us-
have kind of like a role play situation.
that.
We can go to a bar. I'll meet you there
Okay.
and have a whole across the room. Like, oh my gosh, like,
Yeah, like what is do the whole
who are you?
People do that.
I'm seeing you. Yeah, for
I've
sure.
heard people do that.
Yeah,
Like that's kind of like
it'd be kind of fun to
It is kind
try.
of a role play thing.
Why not?
It's kinda
Do
like-
you think that we'd be able
Do you
to?
think you wouldn't crack?
I think I could not crack, but I think you'd have a smirk on your face the whole time and it
Yeah.
would get me to start laughing.
Okay.
So I feel like I would start doing it really seriously. I'd
Yeah.
really try to bring my, Academy Award winning energy to it.
Yeah.
And because it would be so over the top that you would probably be
You'd faint,
cracking.
fall over.
Because we love a nice-
Someone save
We
me.
love a nice role play in the bedroom
Sure,
sometimes, but I don't think
sure.
we've ever done it like, out and about.
Yeah, it's never been like a story arc where it's
No.
like you start at the bar and then you work your way all the way
Should
home.
we role play? Should we start role playing right now for the next year?
Whoa.
Do a full year role
Oh
play?
my god. You mean like right in the podcast, or you mean like just
I
like,
mean like IRL.
in real life every day?
Just kind of the secret, like we'll play characters all the time. I wonder if there are people out there who have tried role playing for like a whole year. They're like, we're going to
Yeah.
act like
Whoa.
we're getting a divorce and like
Oh, and I gotta get you back.
Yeah, and I
maybe?
gotta win you back.
Oh no, are we still ourselves, or are we like totally new characters?
I think we'll think about it.
Okay.
I'll pretend I have a clean house. What about that?
It's like that the room doesn't exist. That's the fantasy.
There you go.
Just the room. There's
The
no
room.
sexual chemistry. There's nothing. It's just that
the
the room
room
doesn't
is-
exist. Insane.
Okay, well, we have to have maybe our new favorite segment. I'm loving this after the first episode so far. A segment of Call Home.
Oh,
Where we get voicemail questions from our family, questions about all sorts of things.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want to send in a voicemail question and potentially get featured on the show, click the link in the episode notes.
Yeah.
It is there.
it is also on the screen. when it pops up.
Magic
so
on
it's
the YouTube.
At some point popping up.
Subscribe.
Cool.
Should we dive into a
Let's
question?
get into this first one. Here we go.
Hi, Mom and Dad. I loved the first episode. I cannot wait to listen to the rest. My question is based around like initiating sex or initiating intimate times. I'm in my first relationship, and usually I just kind of like go with the flow and let him lead, and then we can decide, how the vibes are and go from there. But I feel like I want to take charge sometimes too and, spice things up. And I want to be someone who can be confident enough to initiate and not worry about rejection, because that's my biggest holdup. So I was just wondering if you guys have any advice or tips and tricks on how to feel more confident with initiating, those sexy times or those intimate times. So thank you so much. I love the podcast and I can't wait to follow you guys along on this journey.
Thank you.
All right. We're like, who's going to initiate?
Who's going to initiate this conversation?
I mean, again, it's one of those things where we're all a little different. You got to read your partner in regards to or not read, but over time you got to know kind of what they like and what they don't like, or what feels
what they're
whatever
comfortable with. Mm-hmm.
I think it's all about me and Jess kind of have different vibes on this a little bit, where I think Jess is a lot more okay with talking about it and then being like, let's be, how's this time work? Or let's, you know what I mean? Let's be a little more structured about it.
I'm down to schedule.
She's down to schedule more. And it took me, I'll be honest with you, it was kind of like a challenge for me to get over the sex has to be always spontaneous. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And I think
movie gets caught up in the moment. Gets caught up in the movie time.
Organic sex. You know what I mean? But I think the more your relationship matures, the more that you realize that not everything has to just be organic, right? It's like you schedule dinners. Yeah. You schedule, or you talk about when you should do everything else in your life. Why can't sex be similar?
Of course.
So that's kind of the angle on me and you. Mm-hmm. And then there's, how do I get the confidence to do it? I wouldn't even go there. I wouldn't even think about confidence or if I should or shouldn't. I think it's just one of those things you just start doing. And as you start approaching it in different ways, you'll see what works and what doesn't. Mm-hmm. There's no perfect way to do this. But you just start talking about it, flirting, kind of creating hints. Okay, that didn't really work. Or, oh, that did. Or, I think it's a feeling out process. What do you think?
I mean, I think I totally resonate with this, first of all.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. I definitely, obviously, the longer that we've been together, then the more comfortable I get. But especially towards the beginning, and I know that you were saying that, this is the first relationship. But definitely towards the beginning, I was very, shy, and I was nervous about rejection 100%. Oh my goodness, what if I put myself out there and you were to shut it down, or you're not in the mood or whatever. I think it's a combination of a few things. It's first of all, and I think this does come with practice, is knowing that, there might be a chance that when you do initiate, your partner isn't in the mood or is preoccupied with something else or just isn't feeling that. And it's important not to take that personally, because we all know that that's how we all feel sometimes. Sometimes Evan approaches me and is wanting to have sex, and I am not in that place. I'm not in the mood, or I'm thinking about something else. And just because I'm not wanting to at that moment has nothing to do with not being attracted to you or loving you or all of that. So I think that's, first of all, something important to keep in mind if your partner isn't in the mood at the moment when you do initiate, is that you have those feelings too, and just trying your best not to take it personally. I know that's easier
huge.
Said than done.
That's huge.
But I think it's a way that helps me is to always then put myself in my partner's shoes, knowing oh my goodness, when you come to me and you are trying to initiate and I'm not in the mood, it's not because I'm not attracted to you, I don't love you.
Right.
It's just because I'm not in the mood, because that's just part of life.
Right.
But then with the actual initiation and the initiating of sex, for myself personally, I can just speak to what worked for me. And that was really I started slow. I started slow with just the flirtations. I wouldn't sometimes be direct about it. I would just kind of put it out there. That was what made me feel comfortable at first, is just kind of like, you know, we'd be home eating dinner and I'd kind of stare into your eyes longer, like grab your wrist and, you know, just kind of have those moments, or like kind of say something flirtatious or sexy and just kind of put that hint out there. Or, you know, I would start walking around the house and something that I felt sexy, something kind of skimpy, and just being like, oh, hi, you looking at me? Like kind of being flirtatious. And that helped me feel more confident in myself and my body, and in that empowered moment of being like, ooh, I'm kind of, you know, having this moment. And then once that developed and I got more confident in that way, then I felt more confident to be a little more direct. And I would, you know, send a text message to you like, hey, you know, when you get home tonight, like I would love to such and such with you, you know, et cetera, et cetera. Or, you know, or when we're sitting together, be like, hey, are you down too? Because I'm feeling a certain way.
Right.
So I think it's just, it's practice. And at least for myself, it helped me to like dip my toe in the water and be flirty and try to do my best to feel good in my own body. Also, sometimes too, what that can look like is having a moment alone with yourself. Sometimes that would help me feel a little more in my body and confident to have the right words to say to you that made me feel comfortable. And yeah, those are just a few tips that
I love that. One last thing on that. I think also doing things that are kind of fun and then can be kind of sexy, like you go into a concert, or like things that are like energy's up and you're kind of having fun, but you don't feel the pressure to kind of like, I'm going to initiate sex right now. So then when you come home from that, you're kind of ramped up a little bit. You've been laughing, and maybe you were flirting at the concert or flirting at dinner or flirting at the bar or whatever. You were having fun, and the energy was kind of up. So when you come home, you know, you're kind of buzzing off of the energy a little bit, and then you're kind of talking, and then you know, things can develop a little.
I like that.
I like that. I think that's,
I like that.
You know, as opposed to if you're home all day and then you out of nowhere.
And then you're like, okay, here we go.
Feel a little bit like this isn't
nervy.
A sexy vibe right now. So then I got to kind of ramp up a sexy vibe. You know what I mean? Get out and moving. Get the blood working.
Yeah.
I feel like it can kind of.
I like that idea.
You know. Anyway.
I like that idea.
Good luck.
Hope that helps. Yeah. Sending you love.
Amazing. Okay.
Should we do one more?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mom, Dad, I need your help. Wow, that was really weird to say. My parents have been divorced for so long. I don't think I've ever said those words together. Anyway,
love you.
My name is Kara. I'm 26 years old, and I am dealing with a classic situationship question. So I met this guy on Hinge. We talked for like 4 months straight and had a really great connection. I really was super into him, and he was upfront about him not necessarily wanting a relationship at that current point in his life, but I blatantly ignored him. So it went on for probably a little bit too long, and eventually I did give him the slight ultimatum of either date me or we can't talk anymore. It was very difficult. He really wanted to remain friends, and I told him no, and it's been a little over a year since we've ended it, and here's where my question comes in. He works at a very popular clothing store as a manager. I frequent this store. I have seen him like as he was at work multiple times, and we always catch up like old friends. And eventually I felt like I was over him. But now I don't feel like I'm over him. And I feel as though I want to reach back out because maybe it was just a timing thing. You know, it's been a long time. So do I just continue to just stalk him at work in hopes that he likes me again? Do I text him, or do I just say, no, if he didn't want me then, he's never going to want me? What do you think?
Oh, Carrie, you're fun.
Yeah, I can tell the energy's great. The energy's great.
I love it. Okay, I'm going to give my thoughts right off the top here. So here's the deal. Like you said, it started out as a situationship. He said that he was not ready for a relationship. He wasn't at the point in his life. Obviously, you know, you started to have the feels, and then you told him that you wanted something, and because he wasn't at that point, it didn't work out. So my initial thought would be, if you were to reach out to him again, you have to know that that's the place that he was in, and probably still is, or there's a high chance that he's still currently in that. Now, there's a chance that all of a sudden, you know, there's been a little bit of time and he's bumping into you and seeing you, and and the feelings are coming up, and maybe there's a time in his life when then he's ready to be in the relationship or whatnot. But what I think the expectation should be from you, or the assumption should be, unless he says otherwise, if you do reach back out, that it might be just the same song and dance as it was before, and that might just end up hurting more, because then you already are going through the hurt and just being bummed out that it didn't work out and missing him. And then if you start that up again and it's the same result as last time, you know, it just might be more heartbreak and taking up time where you could be out meeting new people. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's my initial thought.
Yeah, I agree. I think if you're going to reach back out, reach back out in a very casual way. Chill, a joke that you talked about one time, or that it was crazy. It was fun seeing you again. Remember that one time we blah, 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 right? So super casual friend, and then catch his energy, right? And if he comes back strong, then you know maybe there's something. But expect nothing. Yeah. And then you won't be disappointed if there isn't. Right. Like expect it, there's nothing going to happen. Expect that you're just reaching out to like, who cares? You know, who knows? Yeah. Who cares? It's almost like you're on a dating app and you just throw a message out. Right. You're not like, well, what's going to happen? You just throw it out, let it roll, and on to the next. And if 100%. if something happens, but don't go in trying, because it's just
if you do reach back out, make sure you are fully protecting yourself, guarded. Because you don't want to be getting that hurt again. So I would definitely check in with yourself to see where you're at emotionally. If you're like, oh man, if we start flirting again, I know I'm gonna catch these feels because I'm still processing my heartbreak with him, and if we start talking again and it doesn't work out, I'm going to be devastated. Then I would be like, maybe hold off on the reaching out. You know, if you guys bump into each other and you have your moment, then you have your moments. Yeah. But, you know, again, you never know. You never know what would happen. So, there's a chance that all of a sudden down the road, he's ready and the relationship ends up the situationship ends up forming into a relationship. But first and foremost, I would say if you're going to reach out, make sure you are in a place where you feel protected. Okay, if you're going to reach out, be going on other dates.
100%.
Be having other options so that, you know, you're still meeting other people and you're still, you're having those moments out and about and going on other dates. I think that might be a good thing to do if you are going to reach out.
And I kind of generally, I don't know if this is like, I generally kind of feel like the person that says, no, I'm not interested in a relationship is the person that has to initiate, are you interested? Right? Or else you're coming back going, how about now? You know what I mean? And then it just creates a dynamic that if they are ready, it still can create a dynamic. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't push to it. I would just reach out if you want to reach out and say what's up. And if something sparks, cool.
We want the best for you and for you to be the most happiest and find the best relationship. So just make sure that you are protecting yourself and know that you are so valuable. And honestly, you know, hit up some other dates.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But good luck on that. Yes. Sending you so much love, and thank you so much, everyone.
If you need me to talk to him, I'll talk to him. All right, your dad will talk to him. Listen,
send
buddy.
Dad in.
Listen.
Send Dad in. Well, thank you all so much for sending in questions. I cannot wait for next week. And wow,
that was fun.
This is so fun.
I love talking to you. It's the best thing ever. Katie was amazing. The questions you guys send in makes us feel warm and fuzzy. This is the family. I love it.
I love it too. All right. We'll see you all next week. Back home. And we love you.
Bye. Love you guys.